Have you ever been punched in your motherfucking face? What you say? Oh, you haven't? Alright, wait, bitch. 2-4 baby kid, fucking me. I am here, ho, ice cream, booger, color kiss, Sub-Zero, no, ho, boogers in my clique. We don't fear, ho.
Yeah, you good.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. Post Credit Clarity Podcast. What's going on, y'all? I'm your co-host Zay. I have also our co-host Billy.
It is me.
We're co-hosts. Neither of us is host A or host B.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm saying? We equally
insane.
provide as much to the podcast. You know what I'm saying? So
Come on, you gotta talk about it.
hell yeah. So Billy, how you feeling, man? Are you okay?
I'm chilling, bro. We actually just bonded. The audience doesn't know this. We actually just bonded over being cuddled up in blankets,
Yeah.
talking to each other. Yeah, so I'm vibing. It's
Yeah,
about,
we're virtually cuddling right
You know what
now.
I should have did?
What was
You
up?
know what I should have did? I should have fixed myself some hot chocolate before doing this.
That really would have set the vibe. I'm not really a hot
Oh
chocolate
my
person. I think it
God.
sucks because I'm not really a
You
chocolate
think
person.
hot chocolate sucks?
Yeah. I don't like chocolate like as a whole. That's not my bag.
What?
Yeah, I like what's those little things called? The little isn't because they're not even real chocolate. They like something else. Tootsie Rolls. I
I
like
don't even know what
those.
you're talking about. Oh, Tootsie Rolls. Ew, nigga, what the fuck?
Those are good to me. Those are valid. But like chocolate,
Yeah,
the
look at this
flavor,
shit
I
you
can't
like.
get down with it. Like brownies, I'm good. Chocolate chip, I'm really good. Chocolate ice cream, terrible. One of the worst flavors.
I'm so confused at you right now. Like, so what do you like? Do you not like sweets in general?
No, I do like sweets. I just don't like the flavor of chocolate. I think chocolate is just I'm not gonna say overhyped because I get why people like chocolate. Like I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get that it's your bag, but it's not mine at all. I be trying with chocolate. I be giving it chance after chance. You know what I do fuck with? I fuck with white chocolate. I like white chocolate.
That tracks.
You gotta chill. I like white chocolate.
that, you know what? That's probably the most make sensing thing that you've ever said, ever actually. Nah, that's peace.
Listen, all I can say is that
Like you admitting that you like white chocolate, literally isn't a headline. Like it would never be like a yo breaking news. Zay likes white chocolate. It's like a nah. I figured that. Yeah, nah. I'm here.
that's crazy. No, white chocolate just has like a real nice it's like rebellious. You know what I'm saying? It's like yeah, like
Talk to us more about how you like white chocolate.
white when I tasted chocolate and here's the thing. A lot of people told me so my hopes were high, my expectations were high. A lot of people told me that like yo, like chocolate
Right.
is a banger. You need to eat Reese's, you need to try like peanut butter chocolate, you needed to try all these combinations. And I'm like, bro, I'm trying these combinations. They not hitting the way they supposed to be hitting. And then my contrarian brain set in and I tried white chocolate and I was like, nah, this is way better. This is way better
You
than
was
that
like,
bullshit y'all was talking
I
to me
can't
about.
get down with that blackie stuff.
I
Ew.
didn't say that specifically.
Let me go to my white chocolate over here, my milk of magnesia over here.
Yeah, my caucus chocolate.
That caucus chocolate. Let me lock in over here. Nah, it makes sense because you got a white mom at the crib.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Setting the tone for things.
Which is still has not been proven, in court.
Or disproven.
Has not been proven in court that
So
I have a white mom. So for all of y'all
disproven.
go with that, you're crazy. You might have to boom yourself. You might have to boom yourself. You know what I'm saying? For believing stuff like that.
No, yeah, it hasn't been disproven, I will say. So, lock
I
in.
feel like I don't need to disprove it. I'll tell you that right now. I do not need to disprove a rumor of that magnitude because it's obviously outrageous.
one time Zay was like recording or whatnot, and then he had to go to ask his mom to turn down the TV, and she was like, "Sure, son, I got you. Don't worry." Well, oh, you're recording your podcast? Of course, I'll turn it down. And I said, "Wow, that's a good white mom right there."
By the way, that's
That's,
nowhere near
that's a,
what she said. Nowhere near it. Billy just made that up.
I think that's, I think that's so
Billy just
accurate.
made that
Actually,
up.
nah, nigga turned on his fucking heater. Yo, you good?
Nah, my house got it got like an automatic like, oh, we gonna turn the heater on at this time. You know what I mean?
Nah,
It
that's
be doing it
decent.
on purpose. Yo, you want me to yo, Billy, you gotta stop, bruh. You gotta stop.
What you mean? I'm just noticing
Nah,
just the stuff I'm
nah,
noticing.
you
Yo,
gotta stop, yo.
I can clearly hear it. Yo, I
Nah,
can clearly hear
nah.
it. Nah, I'm just, you know what I'm saying, reduce noise when I edit the audio and stuff like that. Yo, we good. Yo, I was just letting
Alright,
you
bro.
know that I can hear it. Yo,
Nah. Cause then they gonna be like, ooh, mm, no,
what does that mean? What are they?
no.
What what are they creating in their brains?
Any type of scenario, bro. You know the audience. You know they insane. Come on, bro.
They are insane. All 3 million of you guys are insane and do like to come
Yeah,
up with theories.
yeah,
That
absolutely.
is
You
true.
know, insane people.
No, for sure.
Yo,
For sure.
Billy. We're talking about a show today.
We are.
We're talking
Ooh.
about a TV show today.
I wonder what show we're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about Wonder Man, guys. Wonder Man. You know what I'm saying? Came out last week, Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern.
It did.
Now, if you were me, you unfortunately
Mm-hmm.
couldn't start Wonder Man at 9 p.m. Eastern because you were stuck watching the bum ass Sixers. But right after the Sixers finished their game, you binged the whole thing in one night. If you're me. Now, if you're not me, I can
Yeah.
understand, you know, you hear about the show a couple days later, then you watch it. But hopefully you watched it. You're here listening to this podcast right now to hear our thoughts on the show. And we're going to tell you
You
how much
are.
we loved it.
We will.
We're going to tell you how much we loved it. So, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and start with episode 1, man. What is episode 1? I'm gonna tell you this right now. Simon and Trevor, actors at opposite ends of their careers, chase life-changing roles.
Episode 1.
Yeah, what struck you about this episode,
to
Billy?
be honest with you, bro, like I think it's known by now that I'm not like super big Marvel guy.
Yeah,
Like I watch the stuff, but I'm not like, yo, I need to know the
you're not a
lore. I'm
stan.
reading all the comics type. Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So to be honest with you, bro, like going into Wonder Man, I had no idea what the fuck was about to happen. Actually, as people who've seen Wonder Man quickly found out, the nigga is not Wonder Man. Like Wonder Man is a role that he's going out for, but he himself is not Wonder Man. Like he's an actor, which that threw me off for a couple of seconds because I thought he was Wonder Man. You know what I'm saying? As in like that was a superhero name, not he's Wonder Man. As in like
right. You
he's
thought it was going
playing a
to
guy named
be
Wonder Man.
and that's the beautiful thing about this show. It's not really a superhero show, but you came into it expecting
It
a
really
superhero
isn't.
show.
It it truly isn't a superhero show, and like the first episode kind of like sets that standard. I thought it was interesting to see, bro. What is the Mandarin? I thought it
Yep,
was
Trevor.
interesting to see him because, yeah, he was in other stuff post Iron Man, right?
He was in
MCU.
Shang-Chi, and he had a little spot called All Hail the King, where it was like these Marvel one-shots that they did that were like SNL sketches.
Got it. So I didn't see All Hail the King, and I don't remember him in Shang Chi. So for me, this was like the first time that I was like aware of, oh shit, he's still within the Marvel universe. So I did think it was like super interesting to see what his life was post that being your biggest role, post the impact of that role. And so I did find it like very humorous for like as soon as he stepped foot in the airport, immediately he's like tackled and dragged away.
Well, that's
Like the moment
episode
that
2.
happened, I was locked in. Is that episode 2?
That is definitely 100% episode 2. Episode 1 is more so
they
we meet Simon. He comes into American Horror Story,
got
gets
it.
fired from American Horror Story,
Oh yeah,
and then meets Trevor in
yeah.
the Midnight Cowboy Theater.
In the audition.
Loses his girlfriend.
Oh, in the
all that
right,
stuff.
right. Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
No, I feel you.
Yo.
I'll tell you what was most striking to me about this episode is that I saw that Marvel wasn't, and the creators of this show specifically, they weren't afraid to make Simon unlikable, even in the first like 5 minutes when he's doing the whole when he's doing the whole thing where he's like talking to the director. And he's just like, oh, what if we did this? But what if we also did this? But what if we did this? But what if we did that? And I'm just, I get where he's coming from. I get like he's an artist and he wants to like it be art. But at the same time, it's like, bro, I want you to succeed at this job and you're not going to be able to succeed if
But that's the thing. That's the thing right there. You said not afraid to make the character unlikable. I love this character. At every point in turn, at every time I had the opportunity, I was rooting for him. And like for them to like make me do that, to me that's the exact opposite of making them unlikable.
Yeah.
Even when they introduced him being like, what about this? Well, what about this? Honestly, like I was locked in. I was like, okay, here's a guy committed to his craft. I get how people are like, all right, buddy, like let's hurry it up. You're not a main character. Let's lock in. But to me, like that made him endearing.
Yeah, let me clear up what I mean. I don't think I mean unlikable. I mean like a character that at every turn he's not like Captain America where his morality is like, like, oh, he's making the right choice like every single time. He's a little shady. You know what I mean? Like when he calls the other lady to impersonate the agency to get the audition, that's a little shady. You know what I mean? And maybe for some people that might be unlikable. I was rooting for Simon at every turn. I do agree with you with that. But this is a character, like I said, is not afraid to make some bad choices in order to
have
forward
depth.
his
to
dreams.
Have depth. Like this is a character that's not afraid to like be something outside of like the front facing what it's supposed to be. And I think that they've tried to do that with other characters. Like I think one of the best shows to do that is Loki. Like making it to where it's like, oh, okay, this is a character with depth. This isn't just the, hey, I'm the sneaky villain guy. But most superhero movies or superhero shows don't have time to give you layers to them. So they are just the monolith of the characters that they are, i.e. like a Captain America type shit. So I do like how Wonder Man was one of these shows that kind of took a page from Loki and was like, no, let's make this a complicated character. Let's make this somebody that you root for, but also somebody that when they do something shady, you either have to justify it and continue to root for him or take that as a knock towards his character.
It's also representative of the real world. Every single choice that we make in life is gray. It could be good or it could be bad. You know what I mean? But there's not always like this binary of like good people and bad people. There are just people who make good decisions and also make bad decisions. So I like the fact that Wonder Man was very honest with his portrayal of people at its core. I think that's one of the best aspects of Wonder Man is the fact that it's very genuine. You know what I mean? It's not like sugarcoating anything. You know?
Right. Did we get the reveal that this nigga was working with the feds in episode 1?
We did. That was at the end. He calls my dog from the DODC. I know he's not a good person, but I do fuck with how he's like in everything and like trying to get every superhero. You know, I fuck with that. But he called my dog at the end of episode 1 and was like, I made third contact. I'm gonna get all the information. And then we find out in episode 2 how you were, saying he got arrested and stuff. We find out like how he cut a deal with the DODC to get after Simon.
I will say though, like watching episode 1, my initial reaction to that, it was exactly what they intended it to be. My initial reaction to that was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Wait, I thought this nigga. Wait, hold on, yo. But then, obviously, in episode 2, we find out why. But immediately after episode 1, I did think like, well, he did play a terrorist. And he is just walking around free. So I guess it makes sense that he's working with,
Yeah,
whatever government agency. Obviously, later we find out it's the DODC.
yeah. The last thing I'll mention about episode 1 is the fact that just in the first episode, you realize like how good of an actor Yahya Abdul-Mateen is in that audition.
For sure.
In that audition room, that was crazy. The way
Yo,
that
when he
just,
did the monologue?
because you have to think about it. You have to think about it. Yahya is not just acting one character. He's acting a character, doing his best to act a character. So it's like
Right.
it's like the layers that you have to put on top of the performance, and to where like, okay, in the beginning, as soon as he walks in, like he has anxiety, he's a little bit worried, but then he takes the advice from Trevor, he takes a breath, it goes straight to
He
instinct.
locks the fuck in.
Yeah, and locks
He
in.
locks-
And that's like
Yeah,
I'm
nah.
not shitting you right now. Like Yahya, and we're gonna talk about this over the course of our discussion here. Yahya deserves like everything for this show. He deserves
Bro,
everything.
bro, it's hard to say that he's underrated because he's such a consistent working. Like he has
Yeah,
like
he's been in
consistent
things.
jobs all
Big
the time.
things.
Yeah, so it's hard to say that he's underrated, but it does feel like he's underrated. It does feel like he's one project away from like the big role, and I don't know if I'm being like biased when I say this, but I do think Wonder Man is that role to kind of push him over because of how good the show is.
it's so like I liked Watchmen. I don't think a lot of people watched it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't think it's been, and I think that he does well in Candyman. I liked him in Candyman, but again, like Candyman is like, for some people it's hit or miss. The new one
Right.
that came out, and I think that Wonder Man, so far, I mean, I've seen like maybe one or two bad reviews, but mostly Wonder Man has been well received. You know, people are
Yeah.
watching it, people are talking about it. So I'm hoping that this
Am
this really
I-
ups his reputation. You know, as far as an actor goes, because when people talk about the next like great black actor, they don't really mention Yahya as like,
Yeah.
first to come to mind.
Is Watchmen DC or Marvel?
Watchmen is DC, but it's like a separate like Elseworlds thing. Like them niggas don't even. It is DC though. It is
Acknowledge
DC
what's
though.
happening.
It is DC.
Because am I tripping? This is like obviously skipping ahead a couple episodes, but am I tripping to where when they went to the director's house, a part of the mood board that was like established like had his character in Watchmen? Did I see that?
It could have. I only peeped. I saw Captain America, multiple
Yeah,
Captain America
Captain America
suits.
shield.
Thor was up there.
Yeah.
Black Panther was there, and one of the Wonder Man was there. Both like the Wonder Man outfits and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I didn't
Maybe I'm
see
tripping.
I didn't
Maybe-
see Dr. Manhattan, but if he was up there, that's a nod from the cast and crew. That's a
Right.
slight nod from the cast and crew, which I like. I like that. So yeah, that's
episode 2.
yeah, episode 2. Yeah, so episode 2, Trevor gets, actually let me read the thing. Let me read the thing. Actually, I was gonna go. Let me read the thing. Episode 2 is called Self Tape. And it says it's never been
Great
this
episode.
hard. It's never been this hard to do a self tape before. And I've never acted in anything. I've never auditioned for any. Well, I have acted in things and I've auditioned for things, but they've always been like school stuff. It's never been like an actual short film. I'm gonna do a self tape for this. But the way that I was able to, this is another reason why the show is great. I'm not an actor, but I can I can seriously feel like his struggle. Trying to chase his dream, and like at every which way there's an obstacle that's just like mad large,
For
and it
sure.
seems like you can't get past it. You just can't get past the obstacle. And I think that that's what episode 2 was like, when you're chasing dreams, when you're chasing like the artist, like stuff that Yahya or that Simon is chasing. Stuff like this happens because the world is not built for niggas to chase art like this. You know, so I
I
love this
do I
episode.
do like I do like how this episode kind of establishes that his character is this character that like gets stressed out easily. You know what I'm saying? Obviously the circumstances are just like, hey, we're trying to get this self tape in for like the role of a lifetime. But also you can see him in every time that there's like this obstacle being like, fuck, the world's ending. And then to have the Mandarin like right next to him be like, no, it's all good, buddy. Like, just take a breath, you know? It's like
I did
it's
think it was
okay.
funny
Like, we'll
how he
figure it
read
out.
his lines like that every single time. At the end of his sentence, he would be like, "No, it's all good. It's okay."
Nah, but like it was interesting to kind of establish who these characters are. And I think like putting them in stressful situations is the best way to do that. So we get a like a gooder I was supposed to say a gooder, a better
Jesus
look
Christ, bro.
into a better look into who these characters are at their core outside of the storylines that we have them playing, because obviously in episode 2 we find out like, oh, okay, why is he working for the feds, what kind of deal they have the Mandalorian in, and it's presented as like this thing of like, well, fuck, he is somebody who is eventually is gonna have to snake out Yaya. So it's like, do we start to fall in love with this character, or do we constantly see him as somebody who's going to betray Yaya, i.e., like the evil character? And they make it hard not to like him
Yep,
by throwing them in situations where he becomes like Yaya's kind of rock, and Yaya's kind of like calm in the storm. You know what I mean?
exact, bro. This episode is written so well that when they do they're doing the scenes, and they do this every single time when they have an audition or when they're doing like this self tape, and they finally get to the end of the episode where Simon just decides like, listen, we're just gonna do it at my crib, and they say like, and Simon has a realization at the end of the episode. He's like, what if my computer just my display just went off? There we go. Jesus Christ, what the hell was that? Need to update my power settings. Anyways, Simon realizes at the end of the episode, he's like, what if the waiter is saying this in a way that he's saying, maybe I'm not going to judge you in like a welcoming, like, I can handle your secrets. And obviously at the end of the episode, Trevor says in response to he sees that Simon has powers. He sees like the little hole in the wall, the little mess that Simon made,
Yeah.
and he says like pizza, like pepperoni would be great, because he's like, yeah, I can handle your secrets. And like for Simon, this is such a breakthrough because he's never had
Right.
a person come in and say like, yeah, like that's cool, but like I still see you for you. I don't see you for your
Which
powers.
right, which we end up finding out later in the season. But yeah, that is essentially like the first person that Yaya is willing to let in. You know what I'm saying? And it's so weird. It's so weird about like who it is. You know what I'm saying? It would be the old actor committed to their craft, overly committed to their craft, like who Yaya sees himself in and who the Mandalorian sees himself in, being the person that he
Nigga
trusts
said
the most. You know what I'm
Mandalorian.
saying? Because they are
Jesus.
whatever. What is the nigga's name? You know what I'm talking about, yo.
Mandarin.
Mandarin, yo,
This
fuck
nigga
yo,
Unc
I
for
don't,
real, man.
listen to the idea, yo, listen to the idea, not the words, yo. What we doing, yo? But no. So the Mandarin or whatever, because they are two sides of the same coin. They are people who view acting as the highest calling. I mean, we seen it when he went over to Bro's crib. God, yo, Zay, there's no way, yo, you, what? Bro,
Hold
Zay,
on, hold
what
on.
the fuck
My
is
fault, my fault,
happening,
my fault.
yo? That shit fried me, yo. I was like, how is this getting louder, yo?
Oh, Christ.
And I was like trying to talk over it, and I'm like, bro, I can't, dog.
Um, bro, that's my fault. I was
Bro,
adjusting. I was
it's
adjusting my
good
chair.
now, but
Nah, I was adjusting. It's about to get bad again because I was adjusting my chair. I was trying to get my shit comfy. You know what I'm saying? All right. Oh shit. All right, bro. Are you cutting this
Okay.
part out, or are you letting them listen to this?
No, I'm cutting. No, I'm cutting it out. Um, but no, we see kind of like this ideology come up when they go to Joe's crib, and when you see like this stark difference of somebody who is so committed to the craft, views the craft as larger than life, and somebody who's literally quoted saying, "Hey, this is just a job," and it is like literally like just showing off and flaunting the things that he's gotten from this job, and you can tell like, oh, he's not um the Mandarin. He's not Yaya. Like his commitment to this is not that. And so you see them kind of like create this bond even further. It's like, yo, we are two peas in a pod. We are outsiders within this industry that doesn't want you to commit to a craft as hard as we do.
Yeah, and like Joe, first off, fantastic cameo with Joe Pantoliano. It made like the series, like all the cameos are really cool, and the first one being like, well, actually, the first one was Ashley Green in the first episode. She's from, you know who that is, yeah,
You said who?
Ashley Green. So, Ashley Green is one of the Cullens in the Twilight series, and she was in the first episode, and she was acting across Simon before he got fired off of American Horror Story. So she was the first
Yeah,
cameo.
nah, I didn't recognize her.
Yeah, she was the first. She was the first cameo. Then the second one was Joe Pantoliano, and the reason for his character, the director was saying was that we needed someone across from Trevor, where Trevor has, he's failed. Well, he's seemingly failed as an actor, and then you have someone who's successful as an actor who's been through the ringer and like got their money, and they have like a mansion and a chef, and they eat Doug prosciutto. I don't even know what that is. That's the type of rich we talking about. This nigga talking about real estate and shit, and it's like you needed a person across from Trevor to like really cement Simon and Trevor's relationship. You know what I mean? And that
For sure.
yeah, and that
For
was
sure.
just really good to have him there because his whole and I think that this is interesting considering it has like a nice like it's kind of like a commentary a little bit versus what Ryan Coogler was saying in Sinners, and they're kind of like saying the exact same thing to where Joe is just like, listen, this shit is a job. You just got to get your money and go. And Ryan Coogler is more so saying like, nah, this shit not a job. You got to find the best that you can and like do the art the best way you can. And then I think the writers of Wonder Man are also saying the same thing that Ryan Coogler is saying. And they just needed a nigga to just be like, nah, this shit is like capitalism. Just get your money, get your profit and go. Which I thought was
Right,
really interesting.
right.
Yeah.
What I do want to say about this episode before we move on is I do like the idea of them like obviously we see the wall, so we do understand he has some level of powers, but they're still teasing it. Like
Yeah.
at this point in the show, like we understand that he's aware and aware enough of his powers to be ashamed of them, but like he's like it almost feels like he's not aware enough to like really have control or really be like somebody who constantly is using them, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that gets established in episode 2 really well, and then obviously we explore that in the later episodes, which we'll get to. But I did think that was super interesting to be like, oh, like because he's aware enough to be ashamed, and I just thought the way that they presented that was so far.
Yeah. His powers are like they're like a they're like directly tied to like his emotional state. So if he's anxious or something like that, all of a sudden he's
At least at this point,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
at
At
least
this
at this
point in the
point in
show,
this.
if he's anxious or if he's like feeling some type of anger, any like heightened emotion, all of a sudden everything around
Right.
him it starts going bad, which is like a cool allegory for like for literally any person that has a secret and feels like that their secret is either about to get found out, they feel like their life is about to get ruined, you
For
know what I'm
sure.
saying? They feel like they can't express themselves. That's really what the power is like a allegory for. It's like for people that feel like they can't express themselves for whatever reason, for you know. And I thought at some point, at some points it was like a queer allegory. At some points, it was more so of a like a racism type thing. You know what I mean? I just thought it was interesting how the show like
I like
delved into both.
the queer allegory because we'll find out later in the show he comes from like a Haitian household. They're like first generation immigrants and stuff like that. And typically, a family like that, a cultural background like that, doesn't accept the budding, the nigga who's like trying to explore his sexuality, the budding queer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so, like, I do like that it's sort of like a queer allegory because at every turn he's like, no, 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 no. Like later in the show, we'll find out. Like he's like, no, what did my brother say? What did these people closer to me say? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I do like that. You might be on to something.
Mentioning his immigrant family, episode 3, Pacoima, birthday parties are kind of stressful.
Yes,
I
yes.
do want to say, like, one thing we haven't mentioned about this show so far is that this shit was actually hilarious. When Trevor was talking to the neighbor Esther, and he was like, listen,
Oh,
he was like,
bro,
listen,
yo,
bitch,
that Friday.
I didn't want you to tell me whether you prefer Simon or Eric. I don't care.
Like he's just like, bro, because he was so appalled. He was like, I asked you about Simon. Some way, somehow, you parlayed this conversation into his brother, and I'm like, bitch, I'm asking about one nigga right now. Let's stick to the like,
And
let's
I'm not
stick with
gonna
the
lie,
program.
I laughed because that shit is like so fucking real. Like if you ever, I've never been to like no Haitian like party, but if you've been to like a black like cookout or whatever like that, you start talking to the elders or you start talking to the gossipers, it get real rough, in terms of like yapping and telling you stuff that you're not trying to hear. You know what I mean? Like so that was just really relatable and funny for me, and I think just another example of how good the show is
Nah,
the fact that
facts,
it's like able to relate to certain aspects of your life that you're just
bro.
like,
I
yeah,
I wish we had like a Haitian correspondent to
yeah,
know how close they got to being like to capturing the culture of like a birthday party. Like they were very intentional about showing like the bucket
yep.
full of clothes and stuff
The
like that.
bucket,
In the
the
beginning, they were
Creole,
very yeah, they were very intentional about how they represented the Haitian culture. That I can only assume that they did it correctly, but I do wish we had a Haitian correspondent to be like
yeah. So we
to
could
confirm.
confirm it. We could confirm like, yo, do you think that food look good? You think they did it right? Like, what's going on? Yeah, for sure. But probably the most interesting part of this episode is we get to meet Simon's brother, who plays that same similar kind of foil that Joe Pantoliano played in episode 2, in which like Eric is the responsible brother. He seems like he has his life
Right.
together. You know what I mean? And in terms of like versus Simon, who's a struggling actor, Eric decides to invite him to come to his job and like be like that type of, and that was like the beginning
Yeah.
of it. That was the beginning of, okay, there's obviously like something here to where this brother feels like this guy isn't. By the way, do we know how old Simon is?
That's a good question.
I think he's like, maybe he seems like 30 something.
Yeah, I would say like early 30.
Yeah.
At most, like be generous, like late 20s, but like really like early to mid 30s. I'm assuming.
Which I was gonna bring up because if so, it's crazy that I'm still rooting for Simon because if this was real life, I would be with Eric. I'll be like,
Be calling
nah,
Simon a
Eric make
bum.
a
Yeah.
lot of. You need to go work at that insurance company. This shit, not, you 30 years old still chasing the actor's dream. Like,
Bro, you ain't had a consistent job yet, yo. Give it up, loser. Nah, I'm with you.
I would.
I'm with you. But that happens all the time. Like,
Yeah,
it's funny how like movies and TV shows or any sort of media can do that to where like when we have these characters within like very specific lens, then we humanize them in a way that, like, and we give them grace in a way that we wouldn't give people in real life.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many characters, like a Marty Supreme character, or whatever character that's sitting there chasing their dreams, or a Yaya character that's sitting there chasing their dreams, and like in the context of the show, in the context of the movie that we get them, I'm like, yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going. But like you said, if I met Yaya in real life, I'd be side eyeing that nigga. I'd be like, yo, I hope I don't turn out like him,
Oh,
because
God.
like, that's crazy.
I'll be like, that nigga's a cautionary tale, yo.
Facts, yo, facts, yo. But I do like how they presented his brother of being the more responsible one, or quote unquote more responsible one, because I do think that that is something that most people who choose creative fields has to deal with,
Yep.
which is being like, hey, being in a position where as a creative, it's the worst decision in the world until it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like us, literally, we can talk about us and like us doing a podcast every week, dropping the videos, attempting to drop clips, attempting to drop whatever extra videos or whatever. That wasn't shade. That wasn't shade.
Nah, it was shade. I'll let you keep going though. Go nuts.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I swear to God, it wasn't. I swear to God, it wasn't. But I was gonna parlay that into like attempting to be like build an audience and do this. It's not working until it does. Like
Yeah.
somebody could easily look at us and be like, why the fuck are y'all doing this for 20, 40 views, maximum 100 plus views, when you could just be doubling down on like trying to get this money at a job, or you could be doubling down on like building a skill that's actually going to bring in a set of income. But this belief that we have in ourselves is fueling this delusion, and every creative has to deal with that. And so it is interesting when they present the idea of, hey, I'm going to go to my normal family, to my family who doesn't have this commitment to the craft, doesn't have this delusion of grandeur, and how now all of a sudden you get to see these characters in a different light. Like up until this point with Yaya, I'm rooting for him. I'm like, yo, nah, he committed. And then you put him next to his family, and you have to wrestle with the fact of like, well, shit, he is kind of the irresponsible deadbeat of the family. Do I still root for this nigga? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And later on in the episode, it's like when his brother, well, he brings out the present for his mom, and his brother really
bro, that
presses
fried
him.
me.
His brother really, at this point, the brother kind of pissed me off, because I'm like, bro, you pressing him crazy right now, and you don't need to do that at this moment in time. Like, I get your standpoint from it, but like the brother was going nuts. He went crazy, and then because of the brother pressing him, because of like, you know, him saying like, oh, this probably was my money you bought this present with. Grown ass man buying presents for his mom with his mom money. Ain't that crazy? Like, you really, what we doing?
He going
man?
stupid. He
Going nuts, going insane. And so because of that, we get because of that we get Simon breaking the table with the powers. And this is like another display of like, nah, this nigga is actually genuinely powerful.
But this is the first time we see his powers in action.
Yeah.
Like other times it was kind of teased. Other times it was like, oh, he has to stifle his powers. But this is the first time where we see him kind of like let loose and break the brand new counter that the brother's been showing off the entire time. And then we see Trevor react to it. Like he couldn't even help but to be like taken aback. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't even pretend to be like cool, calm, and collected. Like he genuinely was like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. And it's just like, again, it's that built up frustration that Simon is feeling, to where he's again, you want to put it in real terms, he's a struggling actor who's a black man in America, and his odds are already
Possibly queer.
His odds are already low at being successful, and he's dealing with all of that in his mind. And now his brother is just speaking his own concerns from himself that he already feels to him. And so for him to be speaking that to him, of course, you know, he lashes out. And we get to the car scene, to where this is where we remember that Trevor has a wire on because he's been trying to get information from
Yeah, he's been
everybody
trying to.
at the
That
party.
has been Trevor's storyline the entire episode. The
Yeah,
reason why he's talking to the lady, the reason why he went to the party in the first place, was to get more information on Yaya's character, to get more information specifically about what is constantly being referred to as the kitchen incident or the kitchen fire
yeah.
and stuff like that, and kind of the origins behind that. But you were saying,
But the more time that Trevor spends with Simon, the less he wants to gather information and do this and do that because they're actually building a connection because Trevor, very
yeah,
much like Simon, felt alone. And this is the first person where
mm-hmm,
he has like a true like relationship with, you know, a true like friendship with in a long time. Again, like he said, he's been labeled as the Mandarin, and because he's been labeled as the Mandarin, he's had to live solo. You know, he's had to be on his own because everybody thinks that he's a terrorist. and
right.
he kind of was, but not really. He kind of
But
was.
you know what's crazy? Even the people that love his role, he's still ashamed by it. He's like, no,
Yeah,
like he's almost like awesome. Like, no, please don't praise me for the role. Like
exactly.
as much as like that was a role I decided to do, we kind of in episode 2 when he's talking to Joe, Joe is like, oh man, I'm so glad you're done with that terrorist stuff. That was such a dark place. You can kind of feel that from him. Like he was at his like wits end. He probably hadn't gotten like a role in so long that like this was just another opportunity to like continue to be an actor. And because it was on the biggest stage at his lowest moment, he felt like, well shit, fuck it, I'm gonna take it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so post post clarity, hello.
Hey,
He's like he's ashamed of the role and stuff like that. And you can kind of see that throughout his interactions and throughout when like people are mentioning the role to him and stuff like that.
exactly. So he goes and breaks the wire, which I was cheering. I was like, hell yeah, Trevor, that's my dog. I was at this point he became my dog.
I do like that scene so much because it shows like that scene did a really good job of kind of like showing. You good?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, your mic mad sensitive. That shit
I know,
fucking
bro. It
yeah,
pick
I
up
don't know why.
literally everything. I can't do
But
shit.
no, I really like that scene because it did a really good job of showing Trevor's conundrum. His inner battle of like, well damn, I am getting close to this guy. I do find that we are two sides of the same coin. I'm starting to build this friendship, but my freedom. Like what am I willing to sacrifice for my freedom? Am I willing to sacrifice the first real relationship I've had in years? If I mean if I can be like maybe hyperbolic, probably the first real relationship he's had since his mother, cuz he every time he has the opportunity to bring her up, he's always like, "Yeah, mommy was my first audience member." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, so am I willing to betray that for freedom? You know what I mean? And this is one of the first times that we see him deal with that, and for him to choose the relationship over the freedom, like you said, it does make you start to root for him more, even though like, are we supposed to? We're kind of not. You know what I mean?
yeah. And he breaks the wire. He comes back to the car, and Simon is like, "We got the call back, man. We got the call back." And this was like such a like cathartic moment as an audience member because you're seeing him go through so many struggles in episode 1 to where he's like,
For sure.
he had to fake the voice, which was hilarious, by the way. He had to fake the voice to the lady on the phone. Episode 2, he meets Joe Pantoliano, but Joe Pantoliano is the worst person of all time. He's struggling still. And then episode 3 breaks his mom's island, which he wanted very badly. And then he finally gets this moment of like, okay, I've been through all of this. I've been through all this hardship, but I finally get a win. And I'm not casting the movie yet, but I finally get like a win, and that was just cathartic to watch for me as an audience member.
Yeah, because earlier, even if you know nothing about acting, they established that getting a callback is like one of the best things ever. And so
Exactly.
for him to achieve that is like, okay, cool. He's achieved something we feel satisfied in him. One thing I wanted to point out, before we moved on to the next episode was like a very specific scene where Trevor is like and Yaya's mom are having a solo
I was
conversation,
gonna talk about that too, man.
and she,
Great scene.
bro, she goes into the story of like the he has no friends story, bro. That in real time was killed me, but I couldn't imagine being in Trevor's position and then hearing that story. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? This confirmation of something that you assume, this confirmation of this connection that you almost assumed, which makes him breaking the wire later in the episode that much more like better, that much more of something that we can root for. You know?
bro. I was watching it and I was like, damn, bro. Like, I really related to that specifically because I was like, bro, like, damn, that nigga felt alone. Nigga felt loneliness, and it was just like, bro, like I just appreciate you, mom, for being a mom, you know. And
For sure.
that was really like a great and powerful
Bro,
scene. And shout out
for
to that
her,
Haitian actor. I don't know what her name
for
is,
sure.
but she fantastic
Cooks.
moment. Yeah,
Bro, cook. But like for her to be like, yo, I thought he was okay.
yeah,
Like I didn't know there was an issue. And then for that to affect her so much, that's something that she still thinks about 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? Of being like,
yeah,
bro, I like this entire time, like I thought he was okay. Like as a parent, bro, like we don't get to know everything that is happening with our kids. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like
Your kid specifically.
we don't know. Yeah, I'm saying it like I have fucking kids. But as a parent, you don't know everything that is going on with your kids. You don't know every thought that they're having. So there are moments where you just have to assume that they're okay. And to get confirmation that he wasn't in such a an emotionally like what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? In such like an emotionally raw way.
Mm,
Like thank you for loving me. Oh, nigga, what?
that shit was
Would have
heartbreaking.
broke my heart. It did.
Yeah,
It did break my heart. But to be in the moment, that would have been like Jesus Christ.
yeah. I don't cry when I watch like TV or movies. I never cry, but that shit, it almost got me. Almost. So, we move on. We move on to episode 4, which is, in my opinion, this is the best episode of TV Marvel has ever done. Episode 4 is amazing. We
You
get
think so?
the Doorman episode. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. A lot of people compare it to Atlanta, and I see why, because it does have those like, yeah, this is weird. You know, it's, but it's like weirdly a commentary on like black exploitation and how the industry, like the entertainment industry specifically, exploits black people and then like throws them
For
away.
sure.
So I thought that this was, yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna stand on it. I already said it. This is the best episode of TV Marvel has ever done. I already said it.
I do want to say this was actually a really good like one off to give us a break from like the story
Yeah,
and to give us background. Like before this episode, the doorman clause was like mentioned, but you're like, okay, I guess that just means no superheroes on set. But you don't know why. And I'm so glad they took the time to give us the why in such a unique way.
yeah.
Like it was a fire episode. I fucked with it.
It was a great episode. So we meet Demar Davis, normal guy in LA, and this is the really heartbreaking part. He's content with his job. You know, he's content with his
Yes.
life. He's fine with where things are. He's just a normal guy. He's not trying to be an actor. He's not trying to be a celebrity. He's not trying to get to fame. He's chilling with where he is, and you know, he takes the trash out as a bodyguard. He takes the trash
Bro.
out. You know, close the thing. And this was the one part where I was just
See
like,
some
listen, what we
random-
doing, bruh? What we doing?
Bro, I literally have it in my notes. I said the nigga touched some random ooze. Nigga never touched some random ooze, nigga. Like that's what I have in my notes.
You never
Be-
do that.
You
never.
don't touch the random ooze.
Come on, bro.
Like that's not what you do. But and it's crazy because you live in a world where superheroes are a thing.
Yeah.
Like don't touch the foreign object. Don't touch the foreign ooze. That should be like Rule number one, you know how like in Zombieland, the nigga had like rules of like how to survive in like the zombie world and shit like that. Like niggas should have that for living with superheroes that are like
Yeah.
destroying cities every day. Like there should be a rule. Hey, don't touch something that doesn't look like it's from here. Rule number one.
Yeah, probably don't leave your car, parked on the street because the Hulk is probably gonna throw it at somebody. You know what I
Yo,
mean?
you
Leave it in a
never know where
parking
the Hulk is
garage.
at. I guarantee if I lived in Marvel, whatever, like the cinematic universe or whatever, I guarantee the same way they have like oh, what private plane is flying right now? I guarantee there's a website called like Hulk Tracker.
Hmm.
like similar, like it works like Waze, like it's a self-reporting thing to be like, oh
Yeah.
shit, all right, Hulk is in L.A. Okay, cool. I think I can park outside today because I'm in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Or yo, Hulk was spotted in Atlanta. Yo, hey, drive out, leave the city right now, yo, if you don't want any damage. Yo.
All right. So, he touches the ooze. Nigga gets powers all of a sudden. Shit start flying through him. He get his dog. Get the funny scene where he goes down to the. Which, by the way, lady, listen. There's a dog in your apartment randomly. Let's not. I get. Also, why is your door unlocked? Are you serious? Like you're gonna take a
I don't
shower and then have
know
it.
that
That's
I
crazy. That's
get
not crazy.
I get how that's a crazy thing. I don't lock my door a lot of times.
Wow. Wow. I mean, he just
And
maybe
and
she just
maybe I'm
got
tripping.
maybe she just
I
got
will
back from
say
work or
I will
something.
say
I don't know.
maybe I'm tripping, but like I don't know. I don't live in a neighborhood where niggas be robbing niggas. So like sometimes I just don't lock my door.
I get that. I'm just saying like I'm not even saying like somebody gonna rob you, but like your door is just unlocked, like just ready to be opened. It's like okay, cool. But
You know what's funny?
what's up?
It was funny. I get that that's like a not a normal thing,
Yeah.
but I will say like I do have multiple family members who just leave their doors unlocked. Like if I were to go to their house right now, they're in like some random state. If I go to their house right now, I know for a fact it's unlocked.
Yo, listen, different folks, different strokes. Different folks, different strokes. So the nigga finds out he has powers, and then he goes back to work that night, and
He
the
does.
club. You see
Which
my dog Josh
great
Gad
commentary on
Demon.
capitalism,
Yeah,
by the way. Yo, I just found out I got superpowers, but I still gotta go into work.
I still gotta pay rent, bro. I still gotta pay rent.
Right.
Anyways, my demon Josh Gad, bro. Shout out to Josh Gad, bro. This episode
I
was
don't
single
like him.
handedly like made me like him as a person. I was like,
I
nah, I
hate
fuck
that
with
nigga.
Josh
Yeah.
Gad. I fuck with Josh Gad after this because I'm listening to Olaf sing like a dubstep version of In Summer, and I'm like, nah, this shit fire, yo. Like I'm moving my hips in the chair. I'm like, yeah, bro, he
Yo,
cooking.
look what gets you, yeah.
He cooking. He
Look what
like
gets you to move your
my toes
hips.
in the burning sand. Do whatever snow does in summer. That was tough. That's a bar, low key. Anyways,
I hate this nigga.
there's too many niggas in the club. Fire starts, obviously, because have you ever been in a club that's at like very high capacity?
Nah.
Well, let me tell you this: it's not a good experience. It's not a fun experience like
It's
how
not a
they
good
were
experience.
they were showing it, and it's actually very unnerving. I don't like it at all.
Really, too many people.
Yeah, not where it's to the point where in that club you can't move, bro. You can't move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You move like two steps to the side, all of a sudden your group that was with you is on the other side of the club. Horrible experience. But yeah, the shit goes on fire, and then everybody gets stuck in there because they showed us earlier in the episode the door doesn't work the way that you would like it to, and Demar Doorman Davis, he saves everybody, man. He saves everybody with his doorman powers, which I thought I thought it was funny.
Which we haven't said what his powers are. His powers are like things can phase through him.
Yeah,
And like if he's touching something like a wall or something like that, you can also phase through the wall. His body is like a door, which is ironic because he's a doorman for a fucking club.
If you want to get like, you know, if you want to get specific with it, his powers are like you said, he's a door, but like you go inside him, and then there's like a dimension, and then you
Yeah,
walk out that door, and
right,
then you get to the next thing. So yeah, but
right. If we're being technical, it's kind of like the nigga from the Spider Verse movie.
yeah,
It's
the
kind of
spot.
like him.
I thought, yeah, I was yo. I feel like that was on purpose. The way they showed like Doorman's powers and like the spot, how similar it was.
You think so? You think he's gonna play the spot later in the live
No,
action?
no, I don't think it's like a oh like the spot is gonna show up. I just thought it was like a reference. Like they did that reference on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyways, he saves everybody's life. He saves Josh Gad's life. Most importantly, we have to keep Josh Gad alive. And Josh Gad offers him the job. He's like, yo, 200K a year to be my bodyguard. And he takes the job.
I do
Obviously,
like the fact. I do like the fact that one thing that we established about the character is that he's like content with his life, and even when Josh Gad is like, "Hey, bro, I want to hire you," he's like, "No, I'm good. I'm all right." The club burned down, and he's like, "No, I'm good."
yeah.
And what I like about this episode is like eventually it gets to the point where it's like it establishes nobody is above their ego.
Yeah.
Like nobody is above like being praised and being like served riches on a platter. And like even this nigga who we've established is the most content nigga in the world eventually falls for like the dangling carrot. You know what I mean? Which I thought was super interesting.
Yeah. And, later on in the episode, he's Josh Gad's bodyguard, and then he turns into Josh Gad offers him a role in Cash Grab, which I thought was, listen, hilarious name.
Hilarious.
Hilarious name for for an action movie with Josh Gad as the main leader of it. Listen, some niggas these days might as well call their film Cash Grab. Not even joking.
Yo, that Eddie Murphy Pete Davidson movie might as well have been called Cash Grab.
Bro, that shit got deleted from my mind. You just like unlocked the memory of seeing
Yo,
that trailer.
the Matt Damon Ben Affleck movie might as well have been called Cash Grab.
I mean, that's basically what it was. It's called The Rip. They grab the
Yeah,
cash.
I know.
Nah, but DeMar, he stars in the movie, and then the nigga life changes on the like literally in an instant. Overnight, in an instant,
Yeah.
his life changes. All of a sudden, he's doing commercials, he's doing cameos in shows. You know what I'm saying? He got the girl from earlier in the episode who said, "Is he asking us to be inside him?" Now she on his dick. You know what I'm saying? The club owner, she think he handsome now. You know what I'm saying? She was like, "Oh, you look good." Like, mind you, she did not say that at the beginning of that. That's all I'm
At
saying.
all, man. She
Didn't
on
say
his
anything
dick
like that.
heavy, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, would you have taken her down, yo?
Yeah, the club owner was fine. I ain't gonna lie to you. Club owner was some fine shit.
Yo,
I would have took
there
that.
go that white chocolate again.
Chill.
Yeah.
Chill. It's like
Yo,
95% of the
full
niggas in the world would have, like, they agree with me. Anyways.
We'll see. Yo, if you agree with Zay, yo, let me know. The club owner. Would
Yo,
have
if you
taken
agree
her
with
down
Zay, subscribe to our channel right now. I bet you won't.
right now.
Right now. Subscribe right now, nigga. Anyways. And then it starts going downhill. He gets on like a late night. He goes on a late night TV show. They got a script written, and he's just like, he's like, oh, nah, it's cool when you make fun of yourself, bro. I promise. By the way, that nigga was corny, bro. Whatever they had that nigga, which is like I guess indicative of late night TV, in which like these niggas are very corny, very corny.
Yeah, nah, he was super corny.
Yeah, I wasn't laughing at all. I was actually angry. I felt the same way DeMar did. I'm like, this nigga is weird. Anyways. He does the shit, he makes fun of himself, and then we start seeing that he gets cut from the commercials. They're like, listen, the joke is getting old. Ding Dong, not funny no more. Ding Dong, which is, come on, bro, what we doing? Ding Dong. The joke is old. The joke is not funny, and he's grasping for straws. He has past due rent. He's an alcoholic
Yeah.
now. He's drunk, and then Josh Gad calls him. He's like, "Yo, they trying to do cash grab too," and he's like, "Oh shit, it's gonna save me." Until the end of the episode where he's hungover from being drunk. They invite him to set. He's walking the set. He's obviously like still drunk, and he's acting out the scene. And the end of the scene is Josh Gad has to go through him, and then Josh Gad goes through him, but Josh Gad doesn't come out. And he's just like, J Gad, J Gad, where you at, J Gad?
Which goes into what we established about his powers earlier, where it's like it is like this pocket dimension thing. So when he threw up, he like closed his body, and I'm assuming Jay Gad like just got lost in the dimension.
He
was
did.
Like, fuck, where do I go?
And the crazy thing about this is that Damar can't go inside himself. I don't think
He can't.
he can't like.
So he can't even help navigate
Yeah,
like Josh
like-
got out of there. The nigga's just stuck.
And so this is why like people with superpowers can't be in movies. Excuse me, sorry.
But it's not even can't be in movies. What they said in the show was the insurance to have like someone with superpowers on your set is so high
Yeah.
that it just does like no movie would ever do it.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, bro, it's too expensive. So it is a band without directly being a band. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I love this episode. I love the acting from Damar. I thought this was great acting. I thought it was funny. It was like funny nod. Like Josh Gad says like, I can't act and I'm still an actor. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, nigga, you know what you're doing.
We know.
But again, like I said earlier, this episode is a commentary on like you said, like the dangling carrot, like chasing the fame, chasing the ego, chasing the, the quick pop that you get from capitalism, and you get your like 15 minutes of fame, and then after that, it throws you away. As soon as it can't like use you anymore, as soon as it can't exploit you anymore, throws you away, just like they threw away Damar, and they were, looking at him. So, and it also provides like a really interesting like okay, now we understand why Simon can't like fully embrace his powers, and he can't fully embrace himself because his career will be over,
Right. At this point, we're like we're halfway through episode 4. There's 4 more episodes left, and I want to get like your temperature. Like at this point in the show, 4 episodes in, how did you feel about it? Like, were you all in? Did you need more? Did you need more film to watch to kind of like rate it the way that you have, or
after
at this point are you like, nah, this is probably the greatest MCU show ever?
Yeah, after the Doorman episode, I was like, nah, this is the best show of all time. I'm like, this show is fucking incredible. Because, like, obviously me being, like, a Marvel fan and me wanting Marvel to succeed, this show was, like, really, like I said earlier, it was cathartic. Because it's just like, nigga, I know you can do things like this. I know you have the capabilities to do this. And the fact that you're proving it to me is, like, thank you. Like, finally, like yes, there have been other like Marvel shows that I've liked and that I've enjoyed and stuff like that, but I've known that they can like do better consistently. Like, I liked Ironheart.
Nah,
You know what I'm
shit
saying?
look like the Phantom to the Phantom pull up. Like,
Yeah,
all those shows,
exactly.
as good as they are, they're like, they're good, but then you get a show like this where you're like, no, this is great. And then like you can clearly see the distinct difference. And I think because we talked about the show a little bit before we potted, like a day or two ago. I don't know if I said this then, but knowing that this is what Marvel can bring on shows or whatever, does this set a new, not set a new bar, but does this raise expectations for the next Marvel project that's coming out, whether it's a movie or a show?
Yes. And the next project we actually have is Daredevil Born Again, which faced like some I'll say like it had like some strife in its pre-production. You know what I'm saying? They overthrew
Yeah.
the niggas and they had to like stitch together some ideas that they thought weren't theirs, but they already filmed it. So it was like we can't just throw away and film a whole new season because that's a lot of money.
Right.
So, and season 2 is really where those creators will take the shine. But it's just like, yeah, if Marvel is doing stuff like Wonder Man, where it's such a clear and concise idea all the way throughout, and it's like never you never feel like, oh, the studio heads came in and said, nah, you can't put this in the show. Like, you never feel like that with Wonder Man. You feel like this is like made by artists for artists. You know what I mean? And since you have the ability to do that, now we're looking at Daredevil Born Again with a different light. And if season 2 is not and doesn't meet the standards that Wonder Man has set, it's like, okay, why are we still doing this show if you have the ability to do things that are better? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
why are we doing
Right,
this?
right.
So, nah, yeah, I agree with you. It does
I do
raise
think
the
this is-
standard. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that is the con of doing something really, really good. Is now that's the expectation. I think it was Michael Beasley who was like, "Yo, the hardest thing about doing something great is like you have to do it again or something like that."
Yeah.
And like I do think that's like the con of Wonder Man. I think this is a really good show. To me, like as far as the shows that have come out, and we've said it, I've talked to this about this before. We potted the list of shows in order of like good. It goes Loki and then Wonder Man to me. So like, yeah, Marvel, you got to show up.
And you know
Like you
what's
can't. I don't think you have. I don't think Marvel has the runway to phone it in.
Yeah, no. You know what's funny about this conversation that we're having? The writers acknowledge this in the final episode, and we'll get to the final episode. I just want to mention this one thing. They acknowledge this, in which Von Kovac says, I don't do sequels because it's gonna be hard, to top what we did. But if you want to talk about topping it, we can have that conversation. Which is like, they're kind of hinting that they have ideas for season 2 of this show, but it's just they know that it would be hard to top and do this again, So yeah. But moving on to episode 5, which I thought was another just great episode. It's called Found Footage, and it says,
Yeah, I thought episode 5 was the funniest episode.
yeah, try a peach ring, you'll understand. Which they made me want to try those peach rings. Trevor make it look good.
Nah, I'm not locked in, yo. This
You're not locked
isn't
into the Mandarin
controversial.
Mandarins.
This isn't controversial at all. I don't like the Spanish snacks because the Spanish snacks they be trying to make them like spicy and sweet and shit,
Yeah,
and that shit be throwing me, bro.
they be mixing like mad flavors. You gotta just give me one thing, twin. You
Bro,
gotta give me one
bro.
thing.
I said snacks, the Spanish like candies and shit, bro. That shit be frying me up. Like don't put tahine on something sweet and then expect me to be like, oh yeah, no, this is great. No,
And it was like the gummy texture too.
yeah, it's like, bro, what we doing? Like, I'm with Yaya. I was like, nah, I'm good. Obviously, he said, nah, I'm good for other reasons, but I would have been like, nah, I'm all right, bro.
Nah, I would have
I
tried
don't
it.
need
I would have tried it because old girl was some fine shit. I would have tried it.
Yo, just look what you do for fun shit.
I'm just trying candy. Yo, I can't try candy.
I was gonna ask you though. So like, this episode is called Found Footage.
Yeah.
Some random kid films Yaya using his powers. He films
Because of
Yaya's
Trevor,
biggest
dumbass.
secret because of Trevor, right? And so they spend the entire episode trying to get that footage back. I was gonna ask you though, if you were in Yaya's position, hey, I'm hiding my powers. Somebody has now filmed me. Especially it to me, it is super like crazy that he hasn't been filmed up until this point, especially living in the time that we live in.
Yeah.
But that's whatever. But hey, you know that somebody has filmed you. Are you paying for the footage if you're Yaya? That's the question I have.
He can't pay for it. The nigga is broke. He can't pay.
Trevor can't pay for it?
I don't know. Well, that is a good question. Can Trevor pay for it? Because
Somebody,
Trevor does
somebody
have
got,
a nice
somebody
little.
got something.
He do got a nice little,
That's what
nice little crib
That's what I'm saying.
on him.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
But
But I'm asking you, Zay. I'm asking you, Zay. Are you trying to find a way to like pay for the footage, or are you just trying to find a way to do what they did, which is destroy the footage?
I'm probably gonna try to do the exact same thing that they did, because I think that like living in LA, trying to find like that type of money, like that's probably not going. You know what I'm saying? That's probably not gonna go well. So I would try to destroy the footage. But if I'm Simon, I ain't gonna lie. I don't give a fuck about none of these niggas. I'll choke you out right here. Give me the camera. I have superpowers. What are you doing threatening me? I'm Superman.
I'm the one with the leverage here,
Yeah.
nigga. I could end you. You just see me take out 5 grown men. I could end you,
Yeah.
bitch ass nigga.
But again, Simon doesn't, Simon is not me. I am not Simon. Simon wants to be an actor.
You do not.
Guys, right. I don't give a fuck about that. But yeah, I thought that this episode, the what was great about this episode to me was like the build up to like the end where you get the gunshot and you realize that they have the call back at the same time that the nigga Jaden's about to die and they destroy the GoPro I just thought it was like a really, really
That was a really good scene.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a really, really well made episode in which that like the build up of everything coming together, and then you realize it as an audience member, like, oh shit, they're like putting everything together. Like that's crazy, So it was like really, really tense and really like again full of tension episode. All right. Nah, where
My
where
bad,
where
my bad. I was no, I was no, my bad, no, my bad. I was scrolling on my phone. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. My bad, my bad.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you.
No. I think no, my bad, my bad, my bad. No, I think you're right. I think episode 5 is really good. I do like how episode 5 bled into episode 6, which we're about to talk about, where Yaya is basically just like, bro, I haven't slept. We spent the entire day handling some bullshit, going through the most bullshit of task of trying to like get this footage and do do these tasks and shit like that. I am too tired to act right now. I'm too tired to take full advantage of my dream, which is basically episode 6.
Yeah, and I loved episode 6. Episode 6 is so close to episode 4 to me in terms of like best episode of the series, because of the distinct like moments that Simon shows us in this episode, and the way that Yaya, continues to show off his acting prowess, that he's like really one of them ones. So we start off, they go into the house. Yaya is like, should I take the shoes off? Should I put the shoes on? What do I do? What do I do? Because he's overthinking, because he's thinking like, damn, bruh, like this is my only moment. Like again, like you said earlier in the season, if I get this close and I miss, what does that mean? It's probably over.
Yeah.
So Von Kovac decides to, split him up and put him with a person and, get them to do like just improv basically. He gives him roles and he says,
because at this point, Yaya's character has gotten a call back. Trevor has gotten a call back, and it is for like the big film. And so when they get there, it is established like, oh, okay, they're not the only people that have gotten callbacks, and it is established that like Von Kovac is this unconventional guy. So he's about to have us do a bunch of unconventional things, and one of them off rip is let's put you with random niggas. You know what I mean? And so now Yaya, who we've spent this entire time, him getting closer with Trevor, him having Trevor be his rock, is now separated from that. So now it is super interesting, because it's like, okay, cool. You are separated from the thing that is the most comfortable to you. React. Like how are you gonna act in these moments? And I do like how the episode kind of like showcased that.
Yeah, the whole time Von Kovac is trying to get to the center of these people. He's trying to get to the like Yaya says later on, he's trying to get to the underneath. Because if he can get to that underneath, he can see that, okay, you really are this character. You really are my Wonder Man. You really are my Barnaby. You know what I mean?
which which again throughout this episode Yaya is like hesitant for, obviously, because it has this big secret.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, and if he's not showing, he even says it himself, he's like, basically he's like, yo, if I can't show up as my true and not authentic self, how am I gonna show my true and authentic self through this character? Like, how does that work? And I do like that one of the ways that we've seen that was when they paired them up with each other. They did this improv game where they were forced to like create a scene in the real time, and Yaya just did like a piece from Pretty Woman.
Which
And
I
I'm not
didn't
gonna lie,
recognize at
when
all.
bro, at all, when I said that in my notes, I was literally about to say that when he was doing it, I was like, yo, this nigga is cooking,
Yeah.
yo, hold on, bro, this nigga my demon, yo, hold on, yo. And then as he's done it, like when he's throwing the plates and everything, I'm like, yo, this nigga is cooking, yo. But then as soon as he's done, Von Kovac's like, okay, that was cool, that was from Pretty Woman, but that was not the assignment.
Yeah.
Like you're not impressing me. And immediately I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? Because again, like you said, I had no idea he took that from Pretty Woman, yo.
Yeah. Which is it was a great representation of how, like, throughout this whole journey, Simon still has walls up, and he's still trying
For
to
sure.
be something else. He still thinks that what he is not enough to be the role. He obviously thinks that.
I do like that throughout his journey of trying to become a better actor, he's kind of forced to like face himself in a mirror and be like, well, fuck, I have to be okay with me.
Yeah.
I have to be centered in who I am in order to properly do my craft. Like, I think he would forever, for the rest of his life, live in shame if he hadn't decided to be an actor. Because as an actor, you are forced to be like, who am I? Why am I? How am I? And I don't think he would have ever asked those questions had he not had this like passion for film and passion for acting. So it is interesting to see like, yo, the thing that I want the most is making me confront the things that I'm hiding from. You know what I mean? The thing that I'm running away from.
Yeah, and then we get quite possibly the best scene in the show and top 5 scene in the MCU history, in my opinion. People gonna say I'm gassing it. I'm not. It is where Yaya is just like, Von Kovac wants us to show our underneath, but I can't show my underneath, bruh. When I tell you, I've watched this moment like so many times already, and the episode came out last week. I just keep rewatching that scene. I'm like, bro, he's like, I can't show my underneath because then if I show my underneath, I won't be able to act again. I'm like, bro. And then Trevor,
Yeah, bro. Like, yeah, this thing is just he's this constant ball of stress, bro, and
yeah,
it's insane.
yeah. And then we get Trevor. Trevor consoles him. I actually can't quite remember at this point what Trevor says, even though I've watched the scene so many times, because I only remember like Yaya's performance until like he gets into like the Wonder Man and Barnaby script that they were doing,
Yeah,
which is like
which I thought
beautiful.
was, yo, every time there's an opportunity to show off, like the acting skill, Yaya is like he takes over. He
And let me
steals the
let me let
scene.
me tell you this too. Let me tell you this too. It's not just Yaya. It's Ben Kingsley as well with Trevor, because he's
True.
also a great actor. There are moments where he breaks out into Shakespeare, and I meant to mention this earlier, but every single project that they say Trevor was in, like they say he was in, I think it was everything besides like South Shore Hospital. When they say he was like King Lear, and he was in doing all these Shakespeare plays, that's all like Ben Kingsley's work. So they've just like put Ben Kingsley's work into like the history of Trevor to make him seem more real and more authentic and more of a person. Um,
But I will say, you saying that every time Trevor gets the opportunity to act like he like shows up, it's true, because one of the scenes that I think was like the best at that is when they did the self tape in I think what was it, episode 3,
Yeah.
and he had to do the line with Simon. Oh, bro, I was
You
like,
never judge.
oh,
Demon.
this nigga is cooking, yo. This nigga
Yo,
is
he
cooking.
pulled out the Mandarin voice for the slight scene. I'm like, yo. I mean, he wasn't being like scary or anything, but he was just like American, like had an
Yeah,
American accent. And I was like, bro, this nigga's a demon.
he's cooking, bro. But yeah, nah, both of them. I do think this is such an interesting show to have two like really good actors
Yeah.
play, because the entire show they introduce like these sort of like meta moments, and I do think having two amazing actors play actors to give them an opportunity to just do monologues at each other that wouldn't exist if the show wasn't about acting. I think it's hilarious because you get these scenes where you're like, yo, these niggas are cooking, but then it has something to do with the plot, but it objectively doesn't have anything to do with the plot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yo, it's like I'm watching LeBron and Kobe go bucket for bucket, man. It's special.
No, for sure, bro.
It's
Like
special.
it literally, bro. It's almost like Ben Kingsley is like telling Hollywood like, nah, 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 hire this nigga more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, give this nigga more roles.
Yeah,
He's a
and
cooker.
it makes it's like a shame that before in the MCU he was only like comedy. They only used him for comedy as like, oh, say this funny line here. And he was funny. I'll give him that. Like he was funny, but like at the same time, like he has the ability when they give him depth in Wonderman, they gave him depth, they gave him writing to work with. He has the ability to really elevate a character to like
For sure.
to be real, to be human, and it's just like, bro, like that shit was inspiring.
They be hoeing the good actors in MCU, bro. They did the same thing with Christian Bale. They hoed that nigga, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you,
He's acting in a completely different movie from Chris Hemsworth. I'll tell you that.
yeah, and that wasn't even that mostly wasn't even Hemsworth's fault. That was more so like Taika just being like, nah, let's make everything funny. Let's not have any serious moments. Let's make the whole movie improv. What if we did that? It'd be like, you're a sick ass nigga, Taika. You're a sick ass nigga. Yeah. So they get the part. They get the Wonder Man and Barnaby part, and this is like the best moment in the series. I think that episode 7 and episode 8 are not bad episodes at all, but it definitely is like, just for me, it definitely is like a clear like slight drop off from episode 6.
You think so?
Yeah, to because I just think like I think like this is not like on any of the writers or the actors or anything like
Nah,
that.
I think episode 7 holds up. I think episode 8 is the drop off, to be honest with you.
Nah,
Because episode 7 is my favorite episode in the entire jump.
nah. I'm gonna just say like it's really because I think that it's what's so fun about like watching these stories and watching like the come up stories is the come up. And once you see them finally
And not
come
the
up,
result of the come up.
yeah, exactly. Once you see
Yeah.
them finally come up, it's like, okay, this is a little bit less interesting. Obviously, it's still like a really good show, but it is like a little bit less interesting to me personally, the come up than the come up. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
I see that. I see that. One thing I want to talk about before we end on episode 6 is the dream. Like, we didn't talk about the dream sequence at all.
Oh yeah, that was a crazy moment. I thought that was real for
An
like 5 seconds.
insane-
I did think that
bro,
was real.
bro, I thought it was real because the way they integrated it into everything that's happening. Everything that's happening throughout the day is Von Kovac is forcing them to get out of their comfort zone, get out of their comfort zone. And then we finally see a moment where Yaya, who the entire time has done terribly to us. Obviously he didn't do terribly because he ends up getting the job, but he's done terribly and he volunteers. He's like, yo, I got the next test. Yo, I got this, right? And so it becomes this thing of they have to create a scene again. And how his partner chooses to create the scene is attacking Yaya's like insecurities. It's sitting there like, yo, we know you're a fake. We know you're a fraud, you bitch ass nigga. Yada,
I
yada,
thought he was
yada.
doing
And
the
Yaya,
scene.
yo, he got so lost in it because again he's faced with the one thing he's ashamed of, he's faced with the one thing he's insecure about, he's faced with the one thing he cannot handle. And he, in like, in order to be a good actor, that can't happen. Like, you got to be able to step outside of yourself, and in that moment he couldn't. So when the nigga was like, yo, we know your secret, we know you're a bitch ass nigga, we know all that, he's over there like, stop it, stop it. And like you said, Zay, and like you said, I thought that that was a part of him acting. I thought that he was still in it until he kept going. He's like, yo, I said stop it. I said stop it. And then all of a sudden, boom, he punches a hole in this nigga's head. Everybody's freaking the fuck out. They're like, oh shit, oh shit. I'm watching the screen. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck is over? Like, literally, I feel so bad for Yaya in that moment because I'm like, bro, no. No, it's over. You're going to jail.
No.
DODC. Like,
No.
like, like, yo, they're about to break down the door. No. Turns out though it was a dream, which again just represents everything that he's afraid of. He's afraid of just being caught. He's afraid of this secret defining him. You know what I'm saying? Which I was relieved to find out it was a dream, but definitely had me there for a second.
Yeah, nah, that was a great moment. Great moment in the series. So we move on to episode 7, which is titled Kathy Friedman. Cool name. The New York Times finds this fascinating. So they're on set. These guys are, you know, and I thought the writing of this was really, really, really cool because in the beginning of the episode, you have Simon talking to the director, and he's talking about like a specific line where he's saying like, yeah, this line doesn't feel natural, but he says something else where he's like, this feels like Act 1 Wonder Man. This feels like, hasn't he learned these lessons already? And it's like, obviously that's a meta commentary on where Simon is in the show, in which like he's still overthinking. He's still, anxious about
overthinking.
Yeah, about Kathy Friedman.
Bro.
Because you think he's moved past it, and you're just like, oh, he's supposed to be on the character arc, right? And he doesn't really finish his arc until, because he hasn't really accepted himself yet, and he doesn't finish his arc until at the end, where we find out, well, not us, but he finds out that Trevor has been lying to him this whole time. So
Yeah, I think this was a really good episode to show like this is the final obstacle.
yeah,
Like, you think you did it, but you have no idea. Like, you every episode before this has been working its way through like all of the layers of like confronting this thing that you're running away from. And seemingly it's almost like he solved it a little bit. Like, we get this glimpse into like what his future could be, with like the beginning of the episode establishing like, yo, he's having a good time on set, this is like the dream role and stuff like that. And then as soon as like his secret comes and faces him again, he's immediately back to what's it called, what's the phrase you used?
I don't remember. What are you talking
Act
about?
1.
Oh yeah,
Act 1. He's back to Act 1 Wonder Man, and I thought that was so interesting for her, the journalist, deep diving into every like different aspect of your life, being the last obstacle to like get him over that hump.
Yeah, and it's also like a beautiful allegory for like when you go through these things, when you go through anxiety, when you go through depression, when you have like these things you feel like you can't tell the world, and then you feel like you finally maybe get past it. It's like life is full of like peaks and valleys, So there are going to be moments in time where you again are faced with, that deep dark fear that you need to tell the world this, but you can, and you're struggling with it, and you feel like you can, and then you feel like you finally move past it, and then it shows up again,
Right.
and it's just like you need to figure out how to live with it, kind of like how Trevor was saying in episode like 2, I'm pretty sure it was. He was like, listen, the work is not acting, the work is not finding out the backstory of your character, the work is living. and then putting what you live on the screen so that way people can relate to how personal you were and relate to that emotionality.
Yeah.
So again, like the writing of this show is very, very, very fucking good. Very
Yeah,
fucking good.
there's two specific parts of this episode that I want to highlight. The first one, and this isn't in like, I don't think this is in order. I think one happens before the other, but there was the part where he's been building up Kathy Friedman as like this harsh journalist and stuff like that, and they finally sit down and Kathy Friedman's like, nah, actually everybody's had like great things to say about you. Like I talked to your mom, I talked to your ex, which talking to my ex is crazy. That's mad
Nuts.
bias. I talked to you. I talked to your brother, which we've established his brother has like issues with him, and then he's like, "Oh shit!" Like, well, what did you say to my brother? And she was like, "Nah, your brother had nothing but nice things to say." Like,
Which
it was
was
just like,
fire to
"Yeah,
find out.
nope,
Fire to find out.
facts, facts." Because it was just like, yeah, your brother was like, yeah, no one believed in you, including me, but we're just so happy to see you here. He's such an amazing guy. And to see the relief on his face after that, to see the relief of like, holy fuck, everybody that has said that they loved me meant it. And like, I'm the
Except,
one who has been, hold on. But I'm the one who's been like positioning them as like the worst versions, and it's due to my own insecurity. Obviously, Trevor is something different. Like he has his own story arc. But like my mom, my brother who I thought hated me, my ex who maybe we didn't have the best relationship with, like all of these people who said like I care for you actually meant it. And like when the moment came to prove it, they did prove it. Like and I thought that was cool.
yeah, I thought that was fire. Everybody that he was worried about, again, proved in the biggest moment that nah, they actually do really like feel for you and care for you. And it's just like the person who you weren't worried about, the person who kind of like blindsided you, is the person that you
Yeah.
should have been worried about in the beginning, which was Trevor. Which he finds out that Trevor has been through the great questioning from Kathy Friedman. And this is just a really good scene because the whole episode Trevor has been super cool, chill. You know what I'm saying? He got charisma.
Chilling.
He got mad charisma, mad charm. Yo, he real charming. Reminds me of somebody. Um, anyways, then you end the episode and
I'm not even
Kathy.
gonna comment on that. I was just I wasn't gonna say nothing. I was just gonna let that moment pass. You were waiting on me to say something about that. Like you paused for me to say. I was just gonna let that moment pass. I was gonna let you keep
Listen,
because that was crazy.
feel me? You know what I'm saying? Um, I had to get that off. Anyways,
Nigga think he Jay Bullen. It's like you feel me.
yeah, and at the end, Kathy is asking him. She's like, "Yeah, all that is well and cool. Like that's cool about your mom, but like, what happened with you in prison?" And he like, "Listen, I got out. They let me out." And then she like, "But nah, like what happened though?" And then he start getting defensive. He stand up. He like, "Nah, you crazy. I don't like you. I don't like the questions you asking." Da 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 da. And that obviously set Simon off. So Simon goes and talks to him, and Trevor says, "Yeah, man, I've been talking to the DODC this whole time, trying to get information on you." And again, another moment where like the acting of Ben Kingsley and Yahya Abdul Mateen is on full display, because Ben Kingsley in this part where he's not even looking Simon in the eyes because he knows that like this is like something that is very heartbreaking for the both of them and he can't really quite deal with it. And then Simon is staring him straight in his soul where he's just like, "Listen, like you really treated me and you treated me like an idiot and I fell for it." And Simon is heartbroken by this, so he obviously we see that he still doesn't have control of his powers. He still doesn't have a hold of what's going on inside. So he lets loose, and this is
He
the
does.
biggest.
He
This is the
destroys the
biggest show
entire
of his
set
powers that we've gotten so far.
for sure. For sure, destroys an entire like set building to the point where it's like niggas think it's a bomb that went off.
Yeah,
Like that's how big the explosion is. And honestly, when that happened, again, it was another moment. It was the same feeling of when I thought he punched a hole into the nigga's head. So I'm like, fuck, Simon. Like, why? Like, come on,
Yeah,
bro. Like, I was rooting
you
for you,
finally got the
and
part, and then this happened.
yeah. But I do like this episode because I said there was two parts that I was gonna mention. The other part was earlier in the episode where he goes to the meeting with like the his representation, and they're all like pitching him like, hey, you can do this now, you can do this now, you can do that now, and Trevor's there. And he's listening to Trevor more than he's listening to the people that represent him. And it was almost like, to me, establishing that at the beginning of the episode was fire, because that was like the peak of where their relationship came, and that was like the peak representation of their bond, where it was like, yo, I trust this nigga more than I trust the people I'm paying. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I
Yep.
even wrote it down. I was like, yo, putting your trust in a nigga that is committed to your downfall is kind of crazy. um because they give us that moment, right? Which again, this goes back to the writers and everybody who are such amazing. But they give us this moment of like, okay, this is how cool their bond is. And then they continue to show it with us, well, the way that they're interacting on set with people. Everybody's like, yo, their bond is crazy. And then to immediately snatch that away at the end of the episode, where it's like, yo, he finally finds out that this entire thing has been a ploy to like get the DODC on him. And I just thought that was crazy. I thought that was really, really, really good writing. And to, to send us on that emotional roller coaster within a 30-minute arc, I thought was like peak. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, the other moment that we didn't mention was he talked to his girlfriend, his little swirler relationship
Yes.
that he got. He talked to his girlfriend,
Crazy.
and this is the moment where I was like, oh, this is like an not just like a other like allegory. This is like specifically in that moment where she was like, listen, I knew your secret the whole time. I lived with you. Like, come on, like I knew
Bro,
you couldn't hide it
to
from me.
me, that scene gives more points to your queer
Yeah,
allegory.
I was just about to say that.
Like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that scene to me felt very like, nah, nigga, I knew you was gay. What the fuck are we talking about? Like,
yeah.
nigga, I loved you.
Yeah, and she's saying like I just hope that, and even the specific line where she says like I didn't think it was my place to bring it up. I wanted you to be able to trust me with that. And I was like, damn.
And then she's like, yo, I hope one day you can find someone that you trust enough to like hold that secret. And then for us as the audience to immediately think like, well, he did find someone, Trevor. But then again, to be like, well, Trevor's a bad nigga. Like
Yeah,
he's actively planning on betraying him. Like, oh, it just made me feel so bad for Simon, especially because they had the episode establishing like Simon was this lonely nigga growing up. And then not only did they have the episode establishing that Simon was a lonely nigga, in the episode where they were at Von Kovac's crib, he literally said it. He was like, yo, I don't know if you know this, but like I don't make friends easily. So it was just a confirmation of the foundation that we got when he was like around his family. And to have like him spend his entire life not trusting people, not having the closest of friends, and finally finding one person who he thinks sees him for him, and who he thinks that he's able to see them for them, to have that person betray them, oh, it broke my heart, bro.
yeah. I was sick. I was sick in that moment because I'm like, bro, this nigga about to find out, ain't he? I was like, damn.
He's right behind me, isn't he?
It's literally what it was. So we move on to episode 8, which is called Yucca Valley, and I really like the second half of this episode, bruh. But anyways, it says, "Don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys," which is the lyric that he sings to the security guard in the prison.
Yeah.
He has like the it's on the news that he blew up the set building. It's like, damn, like, and you think the episode is like it's formed in a way that you think the DODC is coming to Simon's house, but we find out he gets on the call with Trevor, And I'm not gonna lie, I noticed like as soon as I saw like Trevor, I was like, wait, why his outfit green? Normally he got like, why his hair tied up? What's going on here? Like my antennas immediately went up. I'm like, oh nah, this not gonna go the way that we thought it would go. And lo and behold, we see that Trevor has the Mandarin outfit on, and he's doing like the little
Yeah.
video, and he's like, America,
Which
I have one more lesson for
Yeah.
you.
Which when that happened, I'm not gonna lie, bro. That one almost brought a tear to me, cause I was in the crib like, yo, he sacrificed himself, yo. Yo, y'all don't get it, yo. Like, y'all don't understand, yo. I was like, yeah, I was in the crib fucked up after that one, bro. But before that, when he thinks he's about to get arrested, I do like the fact that like Simon called his mom. Like he called the only person that has ever like loved him in a way that he felt like he needed to be loved. Like he called his mom, and then even in calling his mom, he didn't even want to put the burden on her. Like he just wanted to talk to her. He just wanted to hear her voice and stuff like that. And I thought that was like such a special scene. And then to follow that up with like Trevor sacrificing himself, like I thought that was really good.
Yeah. And then he does like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I love the Mandarin voice. I love the voice, bro. He be cooking with that when he was like, the building. I did that. I bombed that building. I did that. I'm like, ugh. That shit got me hyped. What really got me hyped though
Like
was
using
when
that to cook
DO
demon.
DODC agent Cleary grabbed him. He grabbed him by. He's like, listen, I'm gonna let you take the fall, Trevor, but I'm still looking out for Simon. He's like, you never saw me coming. I'm like, he clean.
He committed. He's still
He
in the
locked
role. Yeah,
in.
that
He's a
shit.
demon. He's a
Yeah,
demon.
nah. I do want to say like I do think it's insane that the entire thing got bombed. This entire news thing is like, yo, he's arrested. Turns out bro's not actually like wanting to act in your movie. And Von Kovacs still like, well, yo, harness those emotions, brother. We
Yo, he
gotta
was
get
like,
this
we
scene
never
out
miss
the
a
way.
shoot day. We what? What?
Yeah.
And then he got him
Insane,
acting
yeah.
alongside a tennis ball. It's like,
Which I thought was hilarious.
ugh.
And I also thought it was hilarious that when they eventually showed who replaced him, it was the Joe nigga.
Yeah, Joe Pantoliano.
I thought that was
That
yeah,
was
I
funny
thought
as
that was
hell. That was funny
hilarious.
as hell. That was a good callback to the beginning of the series. Yeah.
For sure, yeah. I thought that was hilarious, bro.
But
But
then
that second half,
yeah, we get to the second half of it. Well, the ending the first half, he goes out with Wonder Man, Eric congrats him, his brother.
super successful.
Yeah, exactly. Great,
Yeah.
great show. Like I said earlier, they have the Von Kovac and him have the talk of maybe doing a sequel, talking about doing a sequel. And then he just sits there and like basks in the glory of, doing a good job with Wonder Man.
Of achieving his dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get the very meta second half of the episode where he's just like, listen, man, I'm gonna follow you, I'm gonna be you in a movie. But the studios, they don't like it. They like to keep their
Which
project secret.
all the way, bro, all the way up until like a certain point, I thought this was real.
I did
I
too.
thought like I thought we were just getting an update on. I thought something obviously was gonna
Yeah,
happen,
I thought it was an
but I
epilogue.
did think that him. Yeah, I thought him doing this for the movie was like, oh, okay, yeah, my nigga getting work. Like he real committed to his craft. He doing all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And we spend a lot of time actually with this family, which I thought was bold, especially in your last and final episode. You're not gonna end it with like lasers and big CGI battle. You know what I mean? You're ending it like very personally, where Simon is meeting with his family and he's trying to be like the guy's name is Chuck. He was just a regular guy with a job, has a family, just trying to provide for his kids and his wife, you know. And Chuck has health problems because his daughter had it was literally like one bad day. His daughter got salmonella. All of a sudden, the rest of his life, he's like living in like debt. and now he's getting stress dreams, similar to what Simon was dealing with. He's getting those stress dreams. He's getting like he's stressed. His health is messed up, and like we get to see where Chuck actually works, and he works at the prison that Trevor's being held at, which is fire. I thought that was
Yes.
fire. That was a really good reveal, because again, like we said, we didn't know that the nigga was like a security guard. We had no fucking clue. Um, so yeah, we get into the prison. They show like Agent Cleary is there. Agent Cleary squint a little bit. He like, I know that's not. That moment was really funny to me. I'm like, bro, come on now. I know you recognize that nigga. Like, but anyways, he kept moving. He keeps moving.
Yeah.
He asks where the bathroom is. And obviously he uses this to find Trevor. And he's just like, yeah, man, like, let's get the fuck out of here, man. Let's get the fuck out of here. Also, he gives Chuck like more money than his eyes can behold, which is awesome. Right. So that way Chuck can quit the job. And the series ends with Simon flying Trevor out of there, flying him out of the prison. We also get like some explanations on his powers too.
Every time we've seen him use his powers, he's gotten better. And I do think that like having the incident of exploding the set, having Trevor take the fall for it, like I do think that forced him to like confront himself in a way that he hasn't previously, which in turn helped him get better at like using his powers and stuff like that. Because when we see him break Trevor out, we see him flying out of there, which he hadn't previously been able to do.
Yeah. And we also get like an explanation for his powers where it's like he harnesses ionic energy and he can like manipulate that shit in, which is like basically like manipulate. The nigga can manipulate atoms to do whatever he wants it to do, which is like a crazy fucking power. Genuinely, that nigga is up there with like Superman.
Well, I was gonna say, I have a question for you that kind of relates to that, and I guess this question kind of rocks with it, flowing into like our afterthoughts of the show and how it affects the MCU.
Yeah.
Because I was reading somewhere and then I was listening to some of our fans talk about Simon being the MCU replacement for Molecule Man, and how Molecule Man was like super 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 important into this new story arc that we're getting from MCU. But like you had previously said in the conversation, I don't know if it was recorded or not, we haven't had time to build up the Molecule Man storyline.
Yeah.
And so like the theory was that Simon's character is the replacement for Molecule Man, is the MCU version of that. Like, what do you think of that theory?
I like that theory. I like that theory a lot. I don't think it's what they're doing though. I do like the theory because like this show coming out before Doomsday actually, like sets it up pretty well with the fact that it's good and it's like standalone, but it has like outer connections to, the Marvel Cinematic Universe and stuff. And the whole thing about by the way, if you don't know and you're listening to this, the whole thing about Molecule Man is that he was created by the Beyonders, who are like this otherworldly beings who created the the multiverse. And they put the Molecule Man in every single universe as like a time bomb built to set off at a certain point when they wanted to destroy the multiverse and just remake the shit just because they felt like it. So Simon could be like the stand-in for Molecule Man because he has like similar powers into which like he can manipulate like ions, Right. So I do like that theory, but again, like I said, I don't think that's what they're doing. I don't think Simon will be back until Secret Wars. I think we'll see him in Secret Wars. I don't think we'll see him in Doomsday because I think this show was already filmed. Doomsday is already filmed. Like they didn't really know what the reception to the show would be. You know what I mean? They, they were kind of like wondering about that. And I also think that like, I think they're taking Wonder Man in a different way that sets up things past Secret Wars. And I'll just say it. I won't leave y'all on the cliff. I think he's a mutant. I think it's very obvious that, or not obvious, but his story is like very mutant coded, into which like he's born, he has these powers, and when he's young, he has like an emotional outburst, and it leads to like an
Right,
incident
right.
with the powers and stuff like that. And then later on in life, his powers are like tied to his emotions. He can't really control them and stuff like that. So
Because yeah,
yeah,
that is weird. I This is like an aside, bro. That is weird how like everybody who has powers in the MCU, outside of the introduction of like the mutants and stuff like that, either gain their powers through some outside source or it just isn't from Earth.
yeah,
And so that is interesting to like the way that they're introducing mutants into the MCU is being like, well, some niggas is born with this shit. And I wonder if they're gonna do the whole yo, y'all are weirdos thing that like the mutants have to deal with in the comics.
yeah. If they didn't do that, it wouldn't be the X-Men. We would be dealing with like a totally different group.
I get that, but
Yeah,
I mostly mean like from like are they gonna get that energy from niggas like
that like racist
Anthony
energy.
Mackie's character? Yeah, are they gonna get that same energy from niggas like Bruce Banner or something like that, where it's like, ugh, nigga, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
you
like
know what's
I got my
crazy?
shit from gamma radiation. You, what the fuck?
What's crazy about the comics is that like the heroes are like when they're well written, when they're written within their character, the heroes are normally like, nah, like we fuck with the X-Men, we fuck with the mutants, like we're not gonna discriminate them obviously because they're heroes, but it's more so like the humans, the regular people who are like spitting when they walk, like fucking muty. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, get the fuck off my sidewalk,
Yeah.
nigga. So I think that they're priming like the humans to be that way, in which that like the whole thing with the mutants is that like, okay, they have
Oh,
these power, yeah,
and
they have these powers,
yeah,
and then like they can't really control them, and Simon is one of those
but
people who can't
that's I
control,
that's the
or
whole
couldn't
thing with
control.
the DODC and
Exactly.
establishing that as like a main thing in the MCU of being like, nah, we fuck with like Captain America and all them niggas, but like these niggas are not Captain America, and these niggas need to be like sanctioned off because these niggas in regular everyday life are an issue. Yeah, hold on, now you're cooking.
Yeah, exactly. And the DODC is actually gonna be in Spider Man, which is funny because they're probably gonna be chasing that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because at some points, people think Spider Man is a mutant as well. They can't really tell. They don't know. They don't know because obviously they don't know his origin story.
Yeah,
So
because yeah, they don't know his origin. Yeah,
yeah, so
and he's not gonna come out and say, guys, yo, I wasn't born like
right,
this.
like
A spider bit me.
yeah, but like yeah, they're setting up a world to where you have a world that not only hates and fears mutants, but hates and fears people with superpowers, and really tries to
I
treat
mean,
them
but
a
it's
certain
a world
way.
that makes sense.
Yeah, treat them a
It's a
certain
world
way,
that makes sense.
especially
Like
after Civil
thing.
War.
Yeah, I was about to say like it's a world that makes sense. Like this world is constantly being attacked by foreign agents and like foreign like things that like a regular person is like, what the fuck is going on? So I do see it within the MCU of it being like, yo, we are fed up, bro.
Yeah,
Like I don't give a fuck what these niggas are. I just don't want them around me, cause I just want to live as close to a normal life as possible within the scope of like the world is ending every five
yeah.
days.
And ever since that nigga said I am Iron Man, my life ain't been the same.
Bro, my life ain't been the same, yo.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: where would you like prefer to see Simon next? Would you want to see him in a Wonder Man season 2, or would you want to see him in one of the big team up films like Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars?
Nah, put him in a film.
Put him in a movie.
Yeah. I told you this outside of the pod, bro. I think the shows in a perfect world, I think the Marvel shows get you to fall in love with the character and the movies put the character in this big, oh no, the world is ending type of situation.
I think what's crazy about you saying that is that I don't think that's too far from what they're actually doing. It's just whether they're successful at it or not. If it works. My fault. My computer just did the shit again. Anyways, it's whether they're successful at it with that whole process. Like they did that with Florence Pugh's character with the new Black Widow. Like to where she was in that Black Widow movie, but like to develop her character even more, she was in the Hawkeye show, and then she came into the Thunderbolts, and also John Walker, the fake ass Captain America, he was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then they put him in Thunderbolts. I think that with some of these other characters like Moon Knight and like She-Hulk so far, they haven't had them in these big movies yet. They haven't had them in these big team up films, so it's just like, and they weren't really successful in their own right. I like She-Hulk, but obviously that for most people that's like hit or miss. I also like Moon Knight. Again, that's another show that's like hit or miss for people. So it's just like, are you successful with the shows that you're doing? And if you're not successful with the shows, it's like, come on.
I think I don't know. I think that's a good meta. Hey, was the show successful enough to put this character in a movie? No? All right, fuck it.
Yeah, but the thing about that is like that would that would mean we never get another Guardians of the Galaxy type situation to where you have these unknown characters who really, I'm gonna tell you right now, nobody gave a fuck. There are gonna be people who act like they gave a fuck about the Guardians before that movie came out. They're lying. Nobody gave a fuck about the Guardians of the Galaxy before that film came out, and then after that, they just had like a boom in like comics and like media to where like they were like featured in things, and it's just like if the show doesn't pan out, now we don't have like certain things like that to where this surprising like movie that we didn't think would be all that good because it's characters we don't care about, we end up loving, the project. So that's probably the one thing I would say against that is like, but I do get what you're saying and where like we need to be using these TV shows to try to like develop characters and use that because there's more time in a TV show than there is in a movie.
There's more time.
There's way more time to like try to develop these characters. So you need to be focusing on that.
Like to me, Wonder Man is Guardians of the Galaxy. To me, this show has done great PR for like the Wonder Man stock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To where like now I want Wonder Man in a movie because I've spent so much time with him. I think Guardians of the Galaxy I think if they would have made Guardians of the Galaxy into a show first and then a movie, I think it would have worked the same because the reasons why people fell in love with those characters, the reasons why it was shot so well, written so well, you know what I'm saying? Like all of that combined made people love those characters and like just continue to do that. Like Wonder Man is the new Guardians of the Galaxy. Hey, this is a character that nobody really knows about. There's no real history there, but we're going to make a show. We're going to make you fall in love. And now we're going to expand this IP into movies.
Yeah. Which is like, I hate to compare, but that's what we're waiting on from James Gunn. We're waiting on that character that people don't really know, people don't really like, people don't really, don't really care about. And will it be like big? I wonder if he does that with Clayface, or if the DCU does that with Clayface, to where like people don't really give a fuck about that character, but like maybe that movie like causes people to be like, oh okay, like I should really take this universe seriously, maybe it does, because I don't know, people are saying the people behind it are like really good, so I think it's like Mike Flanagan and some other nigga.
Yeah.
Nigga that did I, Tonya. No, that nigga's doing Supergirl. My fault. I got that confused. But yeah.
I never seen I, Tonya.
Never saw I, Tonya? It's a great movie. One of Margot Robbie's best.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't really run the Margot Robbie movies. Keep it being with you.
She's good. She's a good actress.
Yeah.
She's very good. I like her.
Any extra thoughts on like the MCU as a whole? How excited you are for Doomsday? Anything?
Um, yeah, I'll say I got some thoughts to get off. People are saying that actually no, I don't have anything. I don't have shit. I don't have shit. I tried to like pull something out of my ass and I was like, nah, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
Yeah.
We hope the
That's
movie is good.
hilarious.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Where yo, Billy, what are you currently watching right now, man?
That is a great question, brother. I am still on my Sex in the City journey.
You are. Tell us how that's going.
So I think last time I talked about it, I had watched episodes 1 through 5, and I just finished season 1, which means I've seen episodes 5 through 12. And let me tell you, I am fully locked in on whatever
Mm,
the fuck is happening. Like episode 5, was really good. The entire episode was just about like fucking a friends and like that whole dynamic and what happens with there. Episode 6 was really good. It was ooh, episode 6 was actually really good. So Carrie was like questioning her relationship with Mr. Big and being like, "Oh shit, am I a secret? Like, what the fuck is going on?" And so like the entire episode is just about like, well, how do you treat the person that you don't want other people to see? You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And because Carrie is like, yo, Mr. Big is taking me to this random restaurant. When I meet people with Mr. Big, he's like not introducing me in like specific ways. So like, am I the secret? And like for her to go through that like thought process of being like, fuck, this is somebody that I'm starting to develop feelings for, this is somebody I'm starting to care for, but do they care for me in the same way that I do for them? You know what I'm saying? I thought that was really interesting. Um, what was the episode 7? Oh, episode 7, they were talking about like monogamous relationships and like how that works and how that doesn't. Like, is this idea of being committed to one person crazy in this new day and age, according to them, new day and age, which is the 90s? But I think that's even more relevant today in 2026. Like, these are talking points that are still happening. Like, is monogamy like a natural thing? You'll hear people say all the time. Is non-monogamy like ethical? You know what I'm saying? Like, and how to do it ethically. Because it stems in this idea that as great as a person is, as amazing as a person is, they are who they are, and they may not be able to fulfill every part of you. You know what I'm saying? We're all complex people. So maybe I do love you. Maybe I do care for you and things of that nature, but you don't satisfy other areas of my life that being a complex human, I want to be able to have satisfaction in. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to always be sexual. It can be just like, hey, I love doing XYZ. Insert whatever you want. Like, I love going to the movies. I love dancing. You don't. And as much as I love you, that's not something I'm willing to sacrifice. So let me have relationships where like that is a prominent thing. Now, outside of polyamory, like that could be like a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like you
right.
could be like, nah, yo, that's just my friend I go dancing with. But I do think that exploring these relationships of monogamy and polyamory, it gives you the opportunity to explore a deeper relationship than just a friendship. You know what I'm saying? And like obviously dancing may be the thing that you start off being like the thing that connects you guys, but because you're open to deeper relationships, you guys are starting to develop these feelings. I just think like this episode was really good about having that conversation. The rest of the episodes were cool. I think one standout out of the ones, let me see, trying to think.
While Billy's doing that, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. It's 2 hours. You might as well like, comment, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Do all the
You
things.
might as well, yeah.
Yeah.
You might
Do
as well.
also do
Oh,
that
I
little hype
really
thing.
thought. I thought I thought an interesting episode was the baby shower episode, where
Mm,
the group goes to a baby shower of somebody who previously they were like, yo, this is a wild lady. She lives the best single life. And then the moment she felt like, oh, this life isn't for me, she traded it in from leaving the big city to go into Connecticut. And now she's like this Stepford wife and stuff like that. And so to have each individual character kind of be like approached with this idea of, and I think we established this last episode with like every character wants to like exist within the box of like patriarchy, in the box of like these feminine roles. However, they constantly reject them, and I think that's what makes like the episodes good, is because you go through each individual journey of either rejecting the role or embracing the role, and kind of what comes from that. And in this specific episode, they're talking about embracing like this Stepford wife type of mentality and stuff like that. And I just thought the episode was really good because even the person that they were comparing themselves to wasn't satisfied in that. Like later in the episode, she's like admitting to them, like, nah, this isn't who I thought I would be. This isn't like, no, I just want to break from this life. You know what I'm saying? And it
yeah.
really showed like nobody is truly satisfied with their lives, especially if they are trying to put themselves in a box that society has built. If you're constantly trying to do that, then you'll never be satisfied. It is better for you to just simply be aware of that box and make the intentional decision to like not exist within it. You know what I'm saying? Because the more and more you try, the more and more you try to adhere to rules that don't make any sense, the more and more you're gonna be just miserable with how your life panned out. I thought that was a really good episode. But we talked about it last episode, man. I think Sex and the City, the way it deals with like cultural commentary, I think is amazing. I can't wait to just like dive into the rest of the episodes and like the rest of the seasons and see these how these characters evolve, how the show and the writing evolves. You know what I'm saying? Again, Sex and the City, 10 out of 10 show.
Yeah, similar. My favorite thing about Sex and the City, similar to Wonder Man, I think that because of how personal it is, even though like it might be an experience that we don't exactly have, like, we're not so specific to, like, obviously we're both not, struggling actors.
But we're not
Yeah, we're
we're
not.
not white women in the
Yeah,
90s,
we're
so
not white
like
women who in the '90s who are, writing, little blurbs in the fucking newspaper and shit. We're not that, because of how personal it is, it's still like is like things that you can relate to. You know what I mean? It's like nah, like this is not like specific to a white woman. This is like a situation that we all go through. And it's like to see people
you
go through
know
these situations, it's like very, very real. So I do,
you know what's crazy?
yeah.
I was actually talking to one of our fans today, and she was saying that like essentially we it took us a long time to get to this point, but essentially she was saying like I don't watch shows that I can't relate to thematically.
Mm,
Like if the theme and what the show is tackling isn't something that I can relate to, or it doesn't like um make me like question the own things in my life, like, oh, do I do that? Is that something that is affecting me? Then like she doesn't like it, which I find interesting because like shows on the surface are about things like just name a random show and surfacely you could be like, oh, this is about XYZ, but then the themes connect to a show that's like completely different. Like the like Sopranos on the surface, that was one of the shows we brought up. Sopranos on the surface is about like this old mob boss ass nigga, but then the themes have to deal with like generational trauma and like depression and stuff like that. And it's like the medium on the surface is like, well, what am I getting out of this nigga talking about like fucking mob shit? But then the more you watch it, the more you're able to like relate it to your own life. Similar with Sex and the City, where on the surface it's like, well, what the fuck am I gonna relate to a white woman in the '90s? But then you break down the themes, and it's really truly about these four women like trying to exist parallel to societal norms, which is something that everybody deals with. And I do find it interesting that like sometimes a show's underlying theme could be something that doesn't like interest you or something that you can't relate to. I was gonna ask you, have you found that like you gravitate toward more towards shows that the themes cause you to relate to them, or being a cinephile, do you just gravitate towards good story in general?
I gravitate towards things that can make me understand their struggle. I don't really necessarily have to relate to it. My example for this is gonna be The Northman by Robert Eggers. This is a movie
Yeah.
about where a guy has his like Macbeth style, Shakespearean style. He has his father killed by his uncle, his mother taken hostage by the uncle, and he's just like, nah, I gotta go on like a plot of revenge for this, like my whole entire life. And he spends the next 20 years building up his body, building up like the ability to fight, to go on this revenge tale. And while I can't relate to that at all, obviously my mom is still alive. I've never gone through that situation where like I'm a prince and my throne was like usurped by my fucking uncle. Shout out to Lion King. I've never been in that situation. I still like felt those feelings of like rage for him. The movie was able to make me feel those feelings without me ever being in his shoes. And I think that that's because it's well written, and it's like it's again, like I said earlier, it's personal. So I relate. I like to watch things. Being a cinephile, I like to watch things that make me feel like, while this idea may be grand, this idea may be like out of this world, the feelings and the themes and the story is like personal, so I don't have to relate to
Yeah.
the exact position that they're in, but I just have to like feel their feelings. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Do you think that kills most shows, like the relatability part? Do you think more people aligned with how you feel, or do you think more people aligned with the fan that I'm talking about?
I would think more people align with how I feel, because like, right, good shows are like, and good media in general.
But good shows, but good shows tackle themes that are like broad enough to be relatable. Like watch, like again, I bring up Sopranos. Watching Sopranos, you're like, oh, okay, you're dealing with generational trauma and like depression and stuff. That's broad enough to where it encapsulates a big scope of people. Sex in the City, you're dealing with growing up parallel to societal norms, and how do I relate to these? How do I interact with these? That's relatable to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that lives in a society. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I would think that more people are with the fan that I'm talking about rather than with you, because I think I relate more to what you're saying, to where like, hey, if it's a good story, regardless of themes, regardless of my relation to the theme, I'm here, I'm locked in. But I do think that like the normal person or the regular person, the average person, has to feel attached to the product in some sort of way outside of just, hey, this is a good show.
Yeah, and like I understand what you're saying, but I think like to make my point more clear, it's more so about like, is the project able to get the audience member invested in the storyline, even if it's like not a relatable perspective. You know what I mean? Like, if it's able to get someone invested, I think like more people would be like watching that. It's not just because of the fact that like, oh, I can relate to the position that this character's in. But then again, just like even saying that, like, in order to get invested, you have to be you have to be emotionally related to the.
Yeah, like
So
I don't
yeah,
know. Yeah,
nah. I
it's
changed my mind. I changed my mind. I changed my mind.
I changed my mind is
I changed my
crazy.
mind.
Changed my mind is crazy. Yeah. So like, but then I would like further the conversation. If you want to make a great show, if you want to make a show that's like exists beyond like the initial creation, if you want a show that's like stands the test of time, do you have to like create a show where the themes are broad enough to relate to somebody 30 years later? Because I'm watching Sex in the City, and I'm like, bro, the 90s was like 30 years ago, bro. Like the 90s, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But it's still just as relevant today as it was then. And as hyper specific as things are, because obviously they're dealing with white women in the 90s dealing with these specific things, they're still broad enough to where I can take something away from them. So like in order to create something good, do I have to make something that is like broad enough to stand the test of time, or can I create something that is super hyper specific and just be a time capsule of the moment?
Yeah, I think that storytellers often use, these broad, I'm not even gonna say like broad themes, but they use like these like vehicles of storytelling, like niggas use Star Wars. And my example is gonna be Andor. Niggas used Star Wars to tell a story of like rebelling against capitalism. You know what I mean? And rebelling against like the institution. And it's like that's fire. You know what I mean? Like that's fire. Like that's what we should be doing. That's what we should be using these stories to do. And I think that that's probably the way forward, is like using these big IPs, using these big like, oh, like people love Star Wars, people love the MCU, whatever, whatever, whatever. But using these to tell like intimate stories of like, we have to do this as a society, or we should relate to this as a society. You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Because I'm, no, 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 my bad. I'm trying to think, because I was trying to think of, as you were talking, I was trying to think of an example that is like the second option I brought up, which is like a hyper specific time capsule that just exists, like not having these broad themes or not having this thing that is great. And I don't know if I can think of one, but I don't think that me not thinking of one means that it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'd be interested to see the project that goes against the norm, because there's this saying of like, yo, like follow the rules, know the rules so that you know how to break them. And I think a story like that breaks the rules. Like the reason Shakespeare works today is because it's broad enough to work. It deals with general themes enough to work. Like, and I don't know. I'm interested. I don't know. I might have to do some research to find like a film that has stood the test of time, but is such a time capsule that it you know what I'm saying? It breaks the rules of that.
Yeah. Yo, Billy, like bringing something. By the way, y'all, he had notes for today's podcast, y'all. So this is coming straight from the notes, straight from the
I
W.
will say the Sex and the City section of this pod, no notes. All of that was off the
Wait, that was
off
off the
the top
dome?
of my. All of
I
it was
thought you
off
wrote
the
that
dome,
down.
bruh. I wrote none of
Demon,
this down. Yeah,
my demon.
I'm dead. Yeah.
All right, Zay, what are you watching? Okay. Um,
Yeah, Zay, what are you watching?
yeah, yo, it's funny how every podcast I always have to ask myself.
every
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 podcast I
pod, yeah.
have to ask
No,
myself.
cause I be like, yo, I be, I'm not gonna lie, I be completely be forgetting every single every time, yo. I be like, yo, word, all right. Oh shit, yeah, Zay. What are you? That shit is
Damn, bro.
crazy.
Fuck, bro. Yeah, man. Last night I watched Zootopia 2.
Fried me. This nigga just
I wa-
fried me up.
I watched Zootopia 2, and I like Zootopia 2 more than I like Zootopia 1. Kill me. I like Zootopia 2
Really?
more. Kill me. Shut up.
What makes you like Zootopia? What makes you like Zootopia 2 more than Zootopia 1?
I'm gonna be
Cuz I seen Zootopia 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't finished Zootopia 2 yet. I haven't finished it. I
Got
fell
it.
asleep on it. I
Got
fell
it.
asleep on the movie.
Yo, oh wait, what part did you fall asleep on?
I'm in the middle where the cat took Judy Hopps,
Yeah.
and she just with the snake, and I guess they're in like this other like desert world where the animals are.
Got it. Oh, so you haven't gotten to the scene where they overly goon out Judy Hopps and it's uncomfortable.
There's a gooned out scene.
Bro, there's a scene, right? And do you care if I spoil or not?
I do know that the cat is like the twist villain. I do know that because I've seen it on my
Okay, cool.
timeline.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah. So first of all, it's a lynx. Let's get that correct. So the
I don't give
lynx
a
nigga.
fuck.
So the Lynx nigga, like, I think he like backhands Judy Hopps, or for some reason Judy Hopps is like thrown on the floor, and the way Judy is like laying down, being like, why could you do this? Like the position that she's laying in is so unnecessary, and the angles that they use is so unnecessary. You can only be like, yo, they knew what they were doing. They were in the studio getting freaked out to some Judy goons, bro. They like there's sometimes where like kids movies or kid IP will have like something for the adults to like keep them engaged. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um like it'll either be in a form of a joke, it'll either be a form of like something happening in the background to keep adults engaged a little bit cuz they know like, oh, the kids are watching this with their parents. And so I truly think like they did that for Judy Hopps, the goon fucking position, for to keep the niggas that are editing the film engaged. Like they had to, bro. Because I wish I had it to pull up to show you. Bro, the position in which she's laying, mad unnecessary. Mad unnecessary. And also not only is it mad unnecessary, the way that they do a bunny's like curves is like, yo, like you
Throughout the
did
whole
not
film,
have
I
to
kind of
highlight.
noticed that like Judy Hopps is unnecessarily thick.
Bro,
Unnecessarily
yo,
thick.
like you didn't
Coke
have to do that.
Coke
We
bottle
know this is
shape.
w- bro, we know this is a female bunny. You don't
Yeah.
have to accentuate certain assets that she has in order to prove to us. Like we get it, y'all. Like this shit fried me.
Yeah. And I was like, bro, like, what are we doing? This is a bunny, bro. It's a bunny. Um, but
Nah, I've seen
they
some.
do tend to like put like, you know, sex jokes in like kids movies a lot. So
I'm saying, bro, like it is weird, bro. It's weird. And not only do you pair the actual movie with what I've been seeing on my timeline, which is everybody sexualizing Judy Hopps, I've seen the most insane gifs of Judy, fan made gifs of Judy Hopps, and I'm like,
hold on,
what the
I'm
fuck are
picking up my
y'all
phone.
doing?
I'm looking up gifts.
Yo, I it was so egregious I didn't even save it, bro. Like I saved it just to show niggas like that were in my immediate vicinity, but then I immediately unsaved it because I was like, yo, if somebody sees that I have this in my phone, it's raps. Like I have to answer questions that I'm not prepared to answer.
Nah, these gifts are crazy. Bro, it's one nigga that got like a life size Judy Hopps. He's sitting with it like cuddling.
Bro, it's insane, bro. Why are y'all, bro? Y'all niggas is freaks, bro. Why are y'all sexualizing fucking bunnies in this way, yo? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, this shit is nuts, man. Um,
This shit crazy, bro. You freak ass, bitch ass niggas, yo.
yeah. Tonight I'm gonna finish Zootopia 2. And bro, there's probably like hella like Zootopia porn.
There's so much. If you go to what's the joint called? Uh, what's the shit called where every Rule 66 or
Oh,
something
Rule
like that?
34.
Rule 34. Yeah, bro. I'm sure if you Rule 34 Zootopia, it is overwhelmingly
Yeah.
like so much.
It's probably nasty. Disgusting.
Yo, you're about to go look it up right
I
now.
am.
This nigga's
Putting it in
insane.
my
Oh,
notes for
yeah.
later.
Rule
Anyways,
34, Judy Hopps must tap in.
before we end the podcast, I did want to get to one more thing. I did have one more thing. Uh,
Yeah.
this video will be out by the time this podcast is done. I'm currently in the process of like editing this YouTube video. But I fan
Yeah.
casted the X-Men. And me
Yo,
and Billy
you
had a
just
conversation.
fried me. You just fried the fuck out of me, yo. You knew that this would fry me.
I
You
did.
knew,
I
you
did.
knew.
I did.
What the fuck? Yo, I for anybody who needs context, I just put out a tweet Literally like at the time of this recording, like probably yesterday or 2 days ago,
Yeah.
where I was like, yo, niggas at Fancast are fucking weirdos. You niggas suck. There's a reason why you niggas don't get paid to Fancast. And then 2 days later, this nigga say, yo guys, listen, YouTube video out soon. Fancast it the entire MCU, bro. That shit's fucking fried me, bro.
Yeah, I'm fan casting the X-Men, and here's my list.
You're giving us your list right and don't do that, bro. You're doing a YouTube video on it.
Yeah, but the video is gonna be out before the pod.
Right. So just tell them, hey guys, if you haven't seen the video up, if you're watching this pod and you have not seen the video, it will be linked below. Please go watch the video.
Oh yeah, go
Do
watch the video.
not, Braze, do not give me your fan casting of these niggas, because you know that's gonna rage bait me.
Let me give you one. Let me give you one. One. Storm. Coco Jones.
Got it, yo. This has been a great episode. Uh, of PCC, yo. So excited, always excited to talk to Zay, yo. Zay, where can they find you, yo? High Tolerance on YouTube. Yo, Zay follow what Mosaic on Instagram, yo.
Follow me on
Yo,
Instagram. Yo, y'all know it's
said
bad
fucking
bitches
Cocos.
following me on Instagram now. Come on now, stop playing with me.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
This is like an aside. I've been, if people don't know, I've been dropping on my Instagram like a song a week. Um, it's been going good so far. Dropping visualizers and stuff like that. A lot of like the people that are tapping in are women, and I'm like, all right, like that's okay. Like I'm looking at the analytics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Cause like I don't think that like the lyrics are like for women. Not to say that they're like misogynistic, but it is interesting to see.
Women tend to like stuff that's not for them.
I mean, I think that's just the life of a woman. Nothing is really for them. They gotta, you know what I mean?
You trying to get some?
Everything
You
is
trying to
male
get some
centered.
bell hooks pussy?
No, yo, yo, this nigga's insane. Yeah, nah, but I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? We live in a patriarchal society. Everything is man centered, so very rarely are there things for them.
Yo, if shit is really man centered, y'all need to go subscribe to me. You know what I'm saying? Go prove them right.
You should, yo. High Tolerance, yo. Shout out to the greatest YouTuber ever that
Facts.
I have the pleasure of like podcasting with on a weekly basis. It's actually amazing that this even exists. This is really a very special pod, yo. You know what I'm saying? That y'all should be subscribed to. Y'all should comment. If you've made it this far and you're not subscribed, or you're not like at least telling other niggas to listen to it, then stop being selfish. Like lock in, bro.
Deadass.
You clearly enjoy what you're listening to on some level, whether it's ironically or unironically. I don't care. You enjoy it for some, you know what I'm saying? Like lock the fuck in. Share this with your friends, share this with your parents, tell your mom to listen. We love moms over here. Tell them to listen. Yo, tell your coworkers to listen. Like post us on your Instagram, post us on your Twitter. Tell everybody to lock in on PCC, cuz honestly, you lock in now, this is like getting in early on Bitcoin. Like eventually it's gonna get to the point where you're like, fuck, I should have told them to lock in when they only had like 10 episodes out.
Oh
Now
God.
they have 1,000 and they're like the biggest movie podcast that ever exists. It's kind of hard to be like, oh, I'm such a niche. We're a niche indie podcast, and you have the ability to look like a cool person by like giving us like recommending us to somebody. But once we blow up, then we're just mainstream. We've lost our luster. Now
Hello.
you're just like a regular nigga recommending a pod. You know what I'm saying? But if you recommend us now because you've made it this far, you're amazing. You're niche. You're in the know. You know what's happening.
All of a sudden, you got way more aura.
All of a sudden, you got way more bitches on your line because they're like, yo, I don't know why he's so tapped in, but he's so tapped in. I got to be tapped in with him. You know what I'm saying? Or her, depending on your sexual orientation. I don't know. Yeah, we love the they thems over here.
All of them. Yo, okay. Genuinely the last thing. Then we're gonna end the pod.
If this nigga gives me another fan cast,
I'm not. It's not a fan cast. Just listen.
Go ahead.
Devil Wears Prada 2 trailer just came out like 4 hours ago.
Yes.
I'm stupidly locked in.
Bro, I'm not watching a trailer. I'm doing this new thing of not watching trailers. I'm locked in. The moment they say Anne Hathaway, the moment they say Devil Wears Prada 2, I'm locked in.
Am
So
I
don't need to see a
stupid?
trailer.
Was Emily Blunt in the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, she
She
was.
was.
Okay, so I need to rewatch
She
that.
played
I need to rewatch it.
She played the secretary that Anne Hathaway was like pseudo replacing. So like cuz Emily Blunt was there before Anne Hathaway was, then Anne Hathaway's character came. Emily Blunt was like jealous and being like, "Oh, bitch, you not worthy" type shit. And then eventually they became cool, like pseudo cool at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I need to rewatch that movie because it looks like, listen, bro, the aura that this trailer had, I was with it.
Yo, Emily Blunt was in it. Vinny Chase was in it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yo,
Like, they
Stanley
had a lot of heavy
Tucci,
hitters
Demon.
in it. Come on, yo, Demon.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. That comes out May 1st. Listen, that's exactly how. And people call me performative. People really gonna call me performative after this. I'm going there first
Yo,
night.
you gonna be in that joint, be like, yo, you know how people dress up for movies? You gotta wear like the freshest spring summer collection when you go watch
God,
Devil
yo.
Wears Prada 2.
I gotta have the
You
glasses.
gotta wear Vivette. You gotta wear Vivette by Kai Cenat.
I gotta have like a little clutch, not no handle, just like something that I hold like when I'm walking in. Yeah, bro. I gotta wear one of those jackets where I don't put my arm through the sleeves. I just have it over the shoulders.
Like a cape, yo.
Yeah, stop playing, bro. Stop playing. Yeah, bro. Devil Wears Prada 2 coming out soon. Specially worked on by yours truly, Billy and Zay and Billy. We worked on that movie.
Yeah, we did work
personally.
on that movie. We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were involved in that movie. Lore drop. We were there.
Hello. Stop playing with us. We're like that. Hire us for more things. Post credit clarity. Zay and Billy. Shout out to Markiplier for coming out with an original movie and it's actually making fucking money.
Boo! I can't believe you snuck that in, yo. Boo! Boo!
Shout out to
I'm stepping on
Markiplier,
all
yo.
that shit, yo.
Me next. All right, y'all.
Makes it sick, yeah.
Post credit clarity.
Oh wait!
what's up?
One more thing. This is the last thing I swear. Did you
keep
see
lying.
that they're coming out at? Yo, did you see that they came out? They're coming out with a documentary about Asylum Studios.
No. Don't you have
They're
a
coming up-
relationship with Asylum Studios?
Bro, I just tweeting at them on a daily basis to give us, for anybody that doesn't know, lore drop. There was at one point where, and I was about to start doing this again, where I was tweeting at Asylum Studios to be like, hey, please give me a budget, please give me a budget, please give me a budget, because they're a studio that specializes in B movies.
Not even
Fast
B
forward
movies.
a couple
You
months
gotta be
later,
honest.
like C movies, yeah. The terrible films.
Garbage movies.
But they're like good. They're terrible in a good way,
Yeah.
bro. Like they're fun watches because of how bad they are. Fast forward a couple months later, a trailer just dropped where a documentary is highlighting like their business model and how they continue to succeed within like the movie landscape today. Bro, it is the most insane thing. I cannot wait till that documentary drops, yeah.
We might do a pod on that documentary, man.
That shit is crazy. I like how you said, don't you have a relationship with that studio? And it was just me begging them for a budget on Twitter.
Nah, you know them personally.
And I rode
bro.
with it too. I was like, yeah. Yo,
I do. Nah, I do. I know
I
them.
do actually. Yo, personally, yo.
Okay. This is the last. Like that was the last thing, guys. Genuinely, the pod is over now. Again, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. hit the Post Credit Clarity mailbag if you have any questions for us, if you want us to address something. Maybe you have like a movie that you think was fire that we think is ass. You know what I'm saying? Hit us up. Let us know, man. Let us know in the comments down below. And we'll see y'all next week. Post Credit Clarity.
Salute.
Deuces.